each and every one of you that you join us. We're grateful. Go to my YouTube channel, hit the like button and share. Subscribe, of course. Subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. I've not said anything. I've not. Why am I being appealed? Why am I being suspended? I've not said a word, and I'm being suspended right now on TikTok. But we're not going to give up. I'm going to appeal. You know, I am talking about what is going on, you know, in Nigeria and things. Why am I being? I have not said anything. I've just said hello. All I said is hello. You know, I have not. Yeah, I have not used any swear words. Used any swear words. I am. You know, I am not. I am following community guidelines. Huh? I am. This is I've not even started the broadcast, and would you know they started blocking me. I've not even started the broadcast, and they started blocking me. But this is why I say to you all, when you're watching, greetings, those of you on YouTube, greetings and welcome. You are listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Do me a favor, give us a thumbs up as you're coming in onto our YouTube. Raina, oh my goodness, Raina, thank you. Welcome. I'd love to have you to join us and speak to us about what's going on in Burkina and Mali right now, and I mean in Niger right now. General Chani, and of course Mali, and of course Burkina Faso. You know, we want to get more updates, and we want to give people, you know, keep people informed. And it's such a pleasure having you join us. So let me just say a quick hello. Happy Sunday to you. I'm going to say that quickly. TikTok always seem to ban me, so everybody, please, as you're watching, just join me. Go and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Citizen AY. Just go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. Thank you for the thumbs up, those of you on YouTube. Please give us that thumbs up. I really appreciate this. And of course, please like the platform and try and give them. You may not be able to share this, I don't know. Try to see if you can share it. I've appealed because I've not said anything wrong. I've just talked about things, but I can't even talk, you know, and I can't even say, I mean, the topic is about colonial warfare against Africa. And I wanted to really talk about that in a much more involved manner. So that's what I really want to say. But straight away, TikTok have just started banning me. They started, you know, putting restrictions on me, and that's not fair. But please tap and share. Help us. Thank you for the thumbs up, those of you on YouTube. Thank you very much. The more of you, there's about 9 of you now on YouTube, and there's 2 people with thumbs up. Let's get the other 7 to give us thumbs up, because the more you give us more likes on thumbs up on YouTube, the algorithm sends it to more people. This is a very important topic, and I'd like to talk about it. Appeal not approved. There you go. They not approve my appeal. I've not said anything wrong. I've not said anything. I just wanted just to come and talk about what is going on. As an African, we have the right to speak about what is happening and what is impacting our African continent. Let me bring Rainer on briefly, and I'll talk about the issue. You can see on the screen, it says colonial warfare against Africa. I want to talk about the 4 pillars. The 4 pillars. Thank you very much for the thumbs up, those of you on YouTube. The more you give us a thumbs up, the more it will send the algorithm to reach more people. So I'm really grateful for you doing that. Thank you so much. And those of you who are watching us on TikTok, you know what to do. Go and subscribe to us on YouTube, because you can see that I'm facing restrictions on my TikTok. And I just don't quite understand why I'm having to face some restrictions. I shouldn't be facing any restrictions at all, because what I'm doing is just really talking about things. Let me see if I can bring in Raina, because I think this I'll add you if you're able to join me, and just to say a few words, because we haven't spoken for a while, and it's a real pleasure. It's always a pleasure having speaking to you about the development in Burkina Faso. The 3 men behind me, you always bring such a sunshine view, and you know, the commitment to what we're doing there, and what they're doing. And I always love hearing you speak about that. It means quite a lot to myself and to many of the audience who are following, who are on this platform. So you are always, you know, always welcome, Rena. Let me see if the only problem I'm having, of course, is that I think I don't, for whatever reason, TikTok don't want me to be talking. Walaxi, greetings, Walaxi, greetings to you, greetings to you all on YouTube as well. And please, as you're coming in, give us a thumbs up. The more you give us a thumbs up, the more the algorithm help us send it into the you know, blogosphere, if you like, and it reaches more people. And we want to have this, we need to have this discussion. Now, there are things I want to talk about. The topic of today is called the colonial warfare against Africa. And it is important to understand that. We really need to understand that there is literally a ongoing colonial warfare against Africa. It takes many forms. There are many areas we can go to. We can talk about the educational one. We can talk about the theological one, which I'm going to talk about. We can talk about the financial one. We can talk about the biological one. We can talk about the military one. So I think it's about 6 or 7. But I think we should need to be looking at 4 to 5. Ade Richard, greetings and welcome to you. We need to be looking at. I'm going to focus on four key areas of the greetings. Those of you on YouTube, thank you. You're listening to Mrs. Hope Talk. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure having you join us. We need you to please, everybody coming in, as you're coming in, give us a thumbs up, help us share the broadcast, help you reach more people. We do need your support. As I stated now, for some reason, TikTok are very quick off the mark to ban and to restrict me. And all I've just said is hello. So I really support, I really do appreciate your support. Hope Talk, Miss Hope Talk, thank you so much for coming by. And we're going to have an engaging discussion. So sit tight and we can really begin in due course. I just want to quickly acknowledge those who are here, and I want to prepare the ground. Can you share your number for a few minutes? Sorry about that. So I just want to take a minute to actually quickly share the link with others so that people can actually give us thumbs up. There's 4 thumbs up now. Great, brilliant. Let's continue. Let's keep that momentum going on YouTube, and I will give you the updates also on TikTok shortly. Just give me 1 minute. I need to do something quickly in YouTube to make sure that people can subscribe. I'm going to put the link for the YouTube on the platform of YouTube so that when you just come in, the first thing you will see will be pinned at the top will be the link for the YouTube, the channel. That way you can go ahead and subscribe. You can help us grow the platform. Each and everybody who joins us, we really appreciate you because you are doing a fantastic job in helping us get more reach and reaching more people with our broadcast and very important issues. We discuss a really important stuff here. The name of the platform is Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. What we aim to do is to always speak truth to power, no matter what is the obstacle that we face with, because we believe in speaking truth to power. We want to share knowledge. One of the things that we've noticed with the colonial structure is that it has been based on this simple principle: restrict the knowledge of the people that you control. Restrict their knowledge, force them to bow to in the mind of the colonials into your superior knowledge, and not question anything. And that is something that we have got to really confront. Please, greetings. Please subscribe. Greetings. So let me just put that here. Please subscribe here so that we can now talk about this. Subscribe here. Like the page, like the broadcast, like, hit notification button. So I'm going to put all of that there, notification button. And finally, share. And finally, share. So just bear with me, share. So I'll put there, thanks. So, okay, now There we go. So I'm going to pin that up. Miss Hope Talk, thank you very much for joining. So we are pinning the message. Now we can do the work proper. Greetings and welcome to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Today, we are going to talk about a very important issue here, which is the colonial warfare that we are facing on the African continent. And we have been facing this colonial warfare for a long time, for as long as time itself, ever since the since the 7th century, I would even say. When the Arabs came and they saw the wealth following Mansa Musa, they saw the wealth that we have on the African continent, and they decided that we have to give ourselves to some god whilst they carted off our resources. And then now it's been continued by the colonials, the European colonials, again, now taking the resources and telling us to believe in only one God, which is their Jesus Christ, and the Muslims are the Arabs, and they believe in Allah and all of that stuff. So all of that has meant that we've been severely restricted. Thank you so much. So it is very, very important for us to understand that there are 4 key pillars that the colonial structure, be it the Arabs or the Europeans, they are using 4 key pillars. And number 1 is, of course, religious warfare. What do I mean by that? One of the things that the Arabs did when they first came was that, no, you have to give yourself to our Allah. You have to give you have to become a servant of Allah, and all of this stuff. And they kept saying all of that, and many people really took that to heart. I don't know if you saw a video. I'm going to share the video whereby, and this is one of the reasons why I'm talking about this. If I can find that video, I don't know if I can get access to it. I'll see. There is a video where in Burkina Faso now, there are some imams or alfas. They are preaching Wahhabism. And I'm going to actually see if I can talk about that. It's very important with us because like I said, there are 4 areas we'll be looking at today. The 4 areas are: number 1, religious warfare; number 2, let's start. I'll do it in the right way with you, which on the screen. Number 1, biological warfare. Number 2, religious warfare. Number 3, financial warfare. Number 4, environmental warfare. So those are the 4 areas we aim to be looking at today. Greetings, those of you who are joining us on YouTube. As you're coming in, give us a thumbs up, help us share the broadcast. We are being severely restricted on TikTok, but that's okay. If you join us on YouTube, as you're coming in, do give us a thumbs up because it will help the algorithm to reach more people. So those are the 4 areas, like I said: biological warfare, religious warfare, financial warfare, and environmental warfare. So now we're going to look a little bit into the religious warfare. We started talking about Wahhabism. Let me just see if I can get something up around that topic so that we can see. We will talk about the usual route of religious warfare, but then we will then go into detail about Wahhabism. I want to just touch on Wahhabism, just to give you an idea. Right now, Wahhabism has been used as a weapon. And I kudos to Ibrahim Traore for bringing that to public discourse, if you like. It is very important that did I not pin it? I did, yes. Okay. So as you're coming in, please do share. Give us a thumbs up, those of you on YouTube. Hit the like button, and of course, help us share and reach more people with the broadcast. We are very grateful for your support. So let us type Wahhabism. What is Wahhabism? Then I would then link it into the religious warfare that I was talking about, Wahhabism. Please do share this broadcast. You are, of course, listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Now, Wahhabism is a puritanical fundamentalist movement within Sunni Islam, founded in the 18th century by the Arab scholar Muhammad ibn Abd Wahhab. It advocates strict literal interpretation of Islamic texts, calls for return to the original uncorrupted practices of early Islamic period, and it talks about strict monotheism, emphasizes the absolute oneness of God and rejects all practices perceived as polytheism or idolatry, such as venerating saints or visiting shrines. Rejection of innovation condemns medieval scholarly interpretations, philosophical additions, and cultural practices introduced after early generations of Islam. Exclusivity follows and believes their interpretation is the only one correct form of Islam, historically leading to harsh judgments against Muslims who do not adhere to their strict doctrines. Now, the Saudi Alliance movement, the movement of explosive survival and success, the movement's explosive and survival and success stemmed from the 1744 pact between Abd al-Wahhab and the tribal leader Mohammed bin Saud. This alliance provided the religious legitimacy for the House of Saud to conquer and unify the Arab Peninsula. I'm just giving you a bit of a background to see so that we understand what is going on. Let me, I need to, yeah, you may not see me, so I want you to see me. So the reason I'm showing you all of this to talk about this is that Wahhabism is a particular form of Islam, which you've had. It rejects any change to the text. It's strictest form of the text, misinterpretation in many cases. And once you do not, in their eyes, once you don't conform to what they're saying, their words and their deeds right there, you are against their religion, and they do, taking off separating one's body part from the other, that kind of thing, if you see what I mean. In the most violent term possible. I'm being very careful the kind of words I'm using, because I know TikTok are they're watching everything I'm saying, but I'm trying to be, as clear as possible. That makes sense. I hope that makes sense. So unfortunately, this is what Ibrahim Traore, sorry about this, has actually observed. And that's one of the things. And it's hard the clerics, many of the clerics who are going to Saudi Arabia, when they come back to Africa, many of them, they follow Wahhabism. And the Wahhabism is actually another way of religious brainwashing, if you like, because the people who are going to those clerics, they go to Saudi Arabia, and they come back totally engrossed. If you like, one would almost say that they become brainwashed, and they follow that everything that is being said, an interpretation of what they've learned to the letter. Nothing changes. There is no recognition of the situation of the people on ground, or their own people, of their own land, or their particular circumstances. Or there's nothing to do with that. So they are imposing religious beliefs that do not reflect the life of the people that they're imposing it on. And they're saying to people, you have to follow it. That's their teaching, that's the law. And then they do the most violent form of Islam, which is Wahhabism. And like I said, it's separating of body parts, literally. All parts, any part of the body that is not part of it, they will separate if you do not follow what they are saying. So that's on the Islamic side. Now on the Christianity side, one of the things that I've often talked about, and you'll have heard me say that, the Christian side is that the religion, during the time when they first came in the 14th, 15th century, 16th century, there was a lot of refusal. Many African nations and kingdoms, they wouldn't convert. They stuck with their spiritual ancestral ways, and they couldn't break through that. And that made the community more cohesive and more difficult to penetrate. So they started, of course, with making treaties with the king, treaties that are not what it's written on the value of what is written on the paper. Treaties that were written that you would only trade with myself, and they're still doing the same treaties till today in Africa. Now, one of the things that they did And again, I'm just gonna I'll take this down for a minute. I want to just go back to this, and I'm gonna zoom in on this side so that 1 second. Gonna zoom in here a little bit. I don't know if you will let me. Yeah. Okay. So this is one of the things I wanted. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. So one of the things was the forced conversion. They said to you, just like in Islam, they said there is only one God, and that God is what you must follow. And they don't, even though they came to your land. Think about this. I want you to understand this is what we mean, and that was happening then. This religious warfare was happening then. They were coming under the guise of, oh, we're your friends, we're here to help you. But no, you have to help you under the conditions we tell you. So they first came in. Oh, we got this. You want that? We start doing trade. Oh, no. Now we want more than trade. We want you. We don't believe the way you're living your life is better. We want you to live the way we want to tell you, want you to live. We will tell you, we've got some doctrines. Here's some books. Here's what you need to believe in. So they swept aside everything of our ancestors and they started putting themselves, even down to our calendars. Our ancestors followed the cycle of the moon, which meant we had 13 months in the calendar year. And the colonials came and they broke that up. They forced us into a 12-month calendar. And this is the reality of what is going on. So this is part of the religious warfare that I am talking about. That from both Christianity and Islam, that they came with this mindset that to be able to control the people, you have to control what they worshipped. And for them to, once they put themselves in, I mean, many of us now know that what is in the Bible and everything else has been doctored. They've held back many truths. They've changed so many things. They've written the Bible in such manner that the Bible that Black people get and Africans get their hands on a Bible that actually worships and venerates the very people who have enslaved them, i.e. the colonials. So this is a religious warfare that was happening back then, and it is still happening as we speak right now. It is still one of the strongest forms of mental what do you call it, not domination, religious indoctrination, religious indoctrination. And it's a powerful tool, because once they separated we the people from our Ogun, from Oshun, and from all our Orishas. We call them Orishas. They are people who have done great things in our community, and they have no right to tell us to abandon them. But once they started doing that, quite a lot of people are following that. They even took away, even as I speak to you now, many of those orishas, they have carvings, great, wonderful carvings that the people would actually venerate their orishas in front of, and they will put offerings, those kind of things. They took them away, and if you go to British Museum, if you go to the French Museum, if you go to the German Museum, if you go to the Austrian Museum, if you go to Australia, if you go to America, if you go to virtually all of the Western world, you will find African artifacts that connects us to our ancestors that has been taken, and it is in those museums. And all of that was initially to stop us from actually connecting with our ancestors. Now they put it in the museum as a trophy for them to show that we control you. So many of us, many people, many Africans go to when I go to the museums, I find it very deeply painful. I will show you a video I did some time ago. I'll come and do another program on that, where I went to the British Museum. And as I was walking past those things, I noticed, one of the things I noticed, you see, the hair that I have here, you will see quite a lot of Egyptians, or no, not Egyptians, Kemites, having hairs like this. And I could connect when I stand next to them. When I'm looking at their face, I can see an African face. And that is them separating us from who we are. And then they're now telling us that Egyptians are not Africans. They're not Black Africans. I mean, this is what Sheikh Anta Diop exposed. He's confirmed without a shadow of doubt that Black Africans are Kemites, what they now call Egyptians. Anyway, so those are the kind of things. That is a religious warfare. So what I've just told you now is basically religious warfare, because what they did was to separate us from our ancestral spiritual practices. And then they imposed routines that they dressed up as spirituality. It is important we understand this. They dressed up routines as spirituality for us to practice every day. You go to church, you go at a particular time, you do this prayer, you say that. All of this was to try and disconnect us from our African spirituality. And this is important we understand that even as I speak to you today, there are many African leaders who have been so, African pastors and things now, who are now carrying on with the same thing. That is the indoctrination. That indoctrination has now gone away from just being recognizing the person who is making the preaching being an European who's trying to control your land, but they've now used one of us to take us over. Case in point, Ajayi Crowther. Samuel Ajayi Crowther was a slave. He was enslaved. They took him on the voyage and they took him on the on enslavement. He ended up in UK, I think it is. And then when he grew up, then they said he was going to be free, and then he was on condition of him, following Christianity and all that. And then when he was then released back to Africa, he was used as part of the tool by E.O. Vidal. I've got a picture of E.O. Vidal. I'll do another program about that. There's a guy called E.O. Vidal who was writing and putting exact words that linking our issue to Satan. All of it to make sure that we Africans would believe that when we think of Satan, we will be seeing our own issue. Issue is nothing to do with Satan at all. Issue is a spiritual connection between Olodumare, the powerful being beyond our sights, who issue that we venerate connects. And that is something that has nothing to do with Satan. In fact, they really bastardized that. They made many people turn away from Satan and from issue. Because when you pick the link, they put subconsciously in the mind of many Yoruba people that if you are venerating your issue, you are somehow venerating Satan, which is nothing of the same. They even said there was that issue with Satan. So we stand, and I say that again, I still say that to this day, and I say that at this very point, issue is in no way, shape, or form Satan, and we reject that. We need to make sure that we separate that, because that is one of the tools of controls that they've used to control us. That because of who you are worshiping, you need to now worship our God. No, everything. I need you to know that everything that they use to control what we're doing in Africa now is words that they wrote down. They wrote those words down. They framed it. Everything that you are seeing that you are using as a Bible has been rewritten. They've been doctored, and they are using it to control many parts of Africa. Likewise in Islam as well. Look at Wahhabism. That's the comparison on both sides. So I'm saying it from both sides, both Islam and Christianity. And it is very important that we understand that it is still going on as we speak right now. That is one of the reasons why Ibrahim Traore, Captain Ibrahim Traore, made the law. I saw the video. I'll see if I can share the video. You will see later. There was a video where an imam was running from the mosque because the people, thankfully, the military has been, Ibrahim Traore has told everybody that you are not allowed to practice Wahhabism in Burkina Faso, because Wahhabism is following the strictest form of Islam, whereby and the body parts will go missing because you haven't followed the strict rule, and those people give themselves power even above the law of Burkina Faso. And Burkina Faso is a sovereign nation. And again, salute. I really like the vision, and I respect the vision. I have so much admired the vision of Ibrahim Traore. He's saying, no way, no religion will be above the sovereignty of Burkina Faso. That is what we need to begin to do in Africa. And it is a very good point at which we need to be talking about this. We need to make sure that on the African continent, there is no religion that will be allowed to supersede our sovereignty. Because what is going on is many people now, many countries, because oh, I'm following Islam, I'm following Catholicism, they actually abandon their own the laws of their own land, and they're using it as a clever way to actually control the people and take over the land. And because when they start doing that, they start speaking Arabic, they start speaking English, and they lose the sense of who they are, yet more separation from their own being as Africans on the African continent. As you know, with Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore is very, very strong on wearing national clothes, speaking the language, growing our food, having self-independence, speaking to, having that freedom to be able to be a Burkinabe, and with the support of the government and the full protection of the government, and of course, giving infrastructure like hospitals. The largest hospital in West Africa right now is in Burkina Faso. Salute to Ibrahim Traore, all to the great work that he's doing. So I really want to just talk about that, from that point of view. So you can kind of get an idea now that is one of the 4 pillars. So we've now touched on the religious warfare. Let me zoom back out. So forced conversions, destroyed African spirituality and culture, we talked about in what I've just said now, in terms of, I use an example of Ajayi Crowther that was used as a stooge with E.O. Vidal behind him. They were both made bishop designate. Ajayi Crowther was much older, but the person who was in control of Ajayi Crowther, E.O. Vidal, was much younger. And he was really directing and controlling whatever Bishop Ajayi Crowther said, because it was being used. They were using Bishop Ajayi Crowther as a way to get more people. Oh, look, he's one of you guys. So if he's talking to you about Christianity, then it must be okay for you to join Christianity. There's nothing wrong with Christianity. Whereas the actions, the real intent of saying and labeling issue as Satan was really done by E.O. Vidal, because he was doing the right thing secretly behind the scenes. Many people thought it was Ajayi Crowther, Bishop Ajayi Crowther, Samuel Ajayi Crowther, So, but that's not the case. So we have to really understand and reappraise how we look at things, and we need to understand that religious warfare that happened in 1852, between 1848 and 52, is still going on right now. There are many African pastors and whatever who are saying they are men of God, and in actual fact, no, they are just tools of oppression on our continent. Please, those of you watching, please do share, help us grow the platform. I'm really grateful for you joining me. Those of you on TikTok, I know TikTok has actually put a ban or something on my platform. There's about maybe barely 1 person watching me. If you cannot get through on YouTube and TikTok, please go and subscribe to me on YouTube. The link for subscribing is at the very top of the page. As soon as you come in, you will see it. Just like it. Do 4 things for me when you join me on YouTube. Number 1, subscribe. Number 2, hit the like button. Number 3, hit the notification button. And number 4, share the live on YouTube, because we need to reach a lot more people. We need to do a lot more groundwork about the tools and the trickery of colonization that is still in place till date. It is still in place till date. So that is giving you an idea. I hope that gives you an idea of what religious warfare looks like. So to you now, you may just think someone is coming to you, give yourself to Christ. No, this is nothing to do with Christ or whatever and by the way, Christ is a consciousness. That's another story for another time. But anyway, so, and you doing that, they don't want you to think. They use religion as a weapon to stop you from thinking for yourself, to stop you from solving your own problems. That song you hear, everything to God in prayer, in the African context, it is literally designed to stop you from solving your own problems. It is reducing you to a child, a helpless child, and that child now has to be nurtured by the pastor. They get direction about their life from the pastor, and that is a dangerous place to be, because before the pastor came, you could feed yourself. You know how to, you are taught how to hunt, you are taught how to, all of those things, all of the skills that you acquire. The religion just puts you in a place where you are vulnerable in all areas. They don't even want you to research, to check about the resources in your feet, to make yourself self-sufficient. It is about making you just think of one thing only, and that is to believe in what they tell you and to not deviate. Any questions that you have, you speak to them first before you take any actions in your life. They will direct what you're thinking. That has impacted generations, generations upon generations upon generations of Africans till as I speak to date. Many people, if you go to many African church homes, in their homes, their altar is of one thing. It is of the white Jesus Christ. And that is the deep psychological mental damage, because they do not see. You see, if you are going to be able to help yourself, you have to see your own savior in your own manifest in what you look like. So your savior has to be looking like an African. If you are trying to get a savior, look at somebody who's going to save you, and you are looking at a white person, you're not looking at solving your problem, because it is rendering you helpless, because you will never trust what is around you. And that is the danger. The deep distrust that we have in Africa right now is because of this thinking that we have been psychologically imbibed in, to trust nothing else but what has been put before us in the Bible. That is perhaps one of the worst psychological damage that close to 1 billion, maybe all 1.3 billion Africans are suffering from till date, because those religions are still got their claws deep in our psyche. It is deep in our psyche. Let me see if I can get this book. I'll just show you this book. This book here touches on how we can solve that problem. Post-traumatic slave syndrome. Let me read one section. I'll just pick any line there. Now, keep in mind, this is about slave trade from the point of view of Black Americans. But when you listen to and read quite a lot of what they're saying, it is very transferable in how to solve those problems. And a lot of it is to make you believe in the same psychology that you as a Black person, you have no power in this world. You have no say in what happens to you. You have to just follow what you are told. And one of the things is we need to psychologically free ourselves from rethink ourselves to the point whereby we have to see that we have, as individuals, the solution to our own problems. That is the thinking that we need to bring in on the table. And we have to teach this to our coming generation, because I'm afraid this thing is so deep that even even children who are in pregnancy, the thought process that the mom is taken in of being helpless, that is seeping into the psyche, of the child. And when that child comes, of course, they're listening to the child, to the mom. As I listen to the mom, whatever the mom says, they take on. And if the mom is really deeply subservient, that is the kind of thing that is becoming part of our psyche in our society, and that goes on for generation to generation to generation. So this religious warfare is still ongoing. It's perhaps one of the most damaging things that has happened to us on the African continent. Let me just read something here to you. It says here, this is about crimes against humanity. As we drove, I asked one of my escorts, a school administrator, about the demographics of the prison. The prison roughly has 15,000 employees with 14,000 inmates, made up of men and women and youth. He said matter of factly. I was stunned but managed to ask a second question. What is the racial or ethnic makeup of inmate population? The result is even a more devastating reply. He hesitated a bit before answering, as if he bore some personal shame associated with his response. The inmate population is 85% African American. I was so staggered I didn't even hear who comprised the remaining 15%. I became numb, hearing only my own heart beating in my ears. I wondered how many Americans were aware of this island penitentiary that housed multitudes of nameless Black people. And if people were aware, why was there no public outreach? Here, the word overrepresentation in the grossest understatement that fails to account. One second, please. So I'm looking at page 69. I'm going to page 70. I just want to just give you an idea of what what is going on. So account for so blatant a wrong, yet the unspeakable crime has been committed in plain sight of us all and required our collective will in order to be perpetrated. So this is psychologically training Black people to see themselves as though they have to accept this as their lot in life and not be able to challenge what has been put in front of them and actually stand up. And that's what I mean. The religion renders you powerless so that you think whatever you face, you have to go to your pastor. Even if you are being incarcerated, you have to go to your pastor. But did they tell you this? I want to say this now about religion. How many of you know that there was a Pope Nicholas V, particularly with Africa now? Pope Nicholas V, he wrote a decree. And that decree was something that was used as a justification for going in and taking over many parts of Africa and subjugating them and enslaving them. But they don't talk about this. And we need to know these things so that we can understand, because a lot of people just say it just happened by accident. But I'm telling you that this religion, that the religion of Christianity that you are talking about, they actually promoted slavery. So we have to, I know these are difficult discussions to have, but when you're facing Christians, those who are Africans who are Christians, when you're facing them with this reality, let me show you the name, Pope Nicholas V. Those of you who are on TikTok, you may be able to see it. I just want to just, uh, I like to back what I'm saying with facts. I don't want to just, it's not being, I'm just being factual, and we need to know that. So Pope Nicholas V, let me see. Now, the fifth. Let me just put that down. So I want you to just see, yeah, there you go. So that's him on the picture there. So when we talk about slavery, you need to understand as Africans, and I think many Africans don't know this, slavery was promoted by Christians, the Catholic Church, as a way of life that their God ordained, that they have been given that power to take over land from Africans on the African continent. But they don't talk about that. They use that in the present, and it is still happening now. So we have to understand the religious warfare. This is a Bishop Nicholas V. Let me go into, I'll just show you quickly what he did in, I'm just going to show you something. So again, it's an opportunity to talk about this from a very, very, to bring this information to our knowledge so that we can understand that it is okay for you to question Christianity. And when you start questioning Christianity, you are going to have more questions because more things will be coming to you. So when the idea that they've programmed us to do in the churches is to not question a single thing. And to my cost, I found that out later in life, and it's painful because they just say, just go and get the Bible. If you have a concern, go and read verse this, go and read verse that, go and read. But they don't tell you about why is it that religion has impacted so negatively in our communities, African communities, till date, and the damage it continues to do to our people in turning us against ourselves. It is actually a tool that is keeping us, for certain, divided in our communities because we are practicing things that is designed for us to actually self-hate. Literally, that is the reality of Christianity on Africans. Many people will not like to hear this, but that's the fact. So let me just read this now. So let me read it. Let me just see now. I want to just read to you the ruling that they made. It's 1452, I think it is. Let me see. I'll get to 1452. Papacy. Now, Let me see if I can find that. I just want to just read this to you because I need you to understand that the origins of the what you call Christianity is slavery. It is slavery. And unless we begin to teach this history to these real truths to many Africans, we will continue to follow the very thing that was used to enslave us. That is Stockholm syndrome, in case many don't know that. Now, let me read this now. Let me see. I want to try and yeah. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to find 1452. Here we go. Slavery. So in 1452, so you are seeing it now. Those of you who are on TikTok, you are seeing it now. Slavery. In the late spring of 1452, Byzantine Emperor Constantine wrote Pope Nicholas for help against impending siege of Ottoman Sultan Mehmed. Nicholas issued the bull Dom de Veras, 18th of June, 1452. I'm giving you specific dates. So I'm giving you specific dates that you can go and fact check yourself. It's not me adding anything to it. I'm giving you 18th of June, 1452, of the dates that they've done. Now, of course, we know the calendar. That's another issue again we will come and talk about later on. So authorizing King Alfonso of Portugal to attack and conquer and subjugate Saracens, pagans, and other enemies of Christ wherever they may be found. Issued less than a year before the fall of Constantinople, the bull may have been intended to begin another crusade against Ottoman Empire, and then he issued another one. Later, he issued another one again. Just want to make sure. Here we go. So the Portuguese. So before the Treaty of Treaty of Alcavocas of 1479, the Treaty of Tordesillas of 1494, the ownership of Canary Islands continued to be a source of dispute between Spain and Portugal. Was asked to settle the matter ultimately in favor of Portuguese. The geographical area and the conclusion finds that it clearly refers to recently discovered land along the West Africa. The Portuguese were intended to compete with Muslim trans-Saharan caravans, which played key role in the highly profitable Muslim slave trade. So you see, I'm giving you the evidence. When I talk to you about the fact that Islam was involved in slave trade, many Islamic people don't like to hear this. But here you have it in black and white. And we are talking about this because we need to understand if we are going to fix Africa, one of the things we have to really understand is that the false foundation of Islam or Christianity being the foundation in Africa is a lie. It is evident because the role of Islam and Christianity on the African continent has been about enslaving the African people, taking the resources from Africans, and it is still the same principle till date. What they are calling Wahhabism is to use one of us, like I said, with Bishop Ajayi Crowder being used to get many Africans to convert to Christianity. The imam now that are being taught and indoctrinated in Saudi Arabia with Wahhabism will now come and practice the Wahhabism in Africa, cutting hands, severing limbs. I don't want to, let me type F4 in the chat because TikTok will probably, they will probably not like what I just said there. F4, or F1. Let me see, F1 in the chat. So anybody type it in for me, please. So I'm going to just put F1 in the chat. So this is what you are seeing evidence now that there was a struggle to continue slavery on the African continent by both Islam and Christianity. They wanted to be the ones who would be carrying out the enslavement of people that look like me. We have to understand that as people and understand the depth of how that is impacting us till as we speak. Saudi Arabia and other places are buying up land in Africa, and again, that is going to what? Cause poverty on the African continent because we are not in control of our own land or our resources. We need to change that. That is why I am so proud of Ibrahim Traore. That is why I will always sing the praise of Ibrahim Traore because this is what he's doing. It's making us understand as Africans, we have every right to reach our true potential as Africans on the African continent with no apologies whatsoever to either Islam or Christianity. It is really important that that point is understood. Let me just quickly read a bit more here. So, the Portuguese, going on from the papacy, this was what the Pope, keep in mind, this is Pope Nicholas V. He wrote this, he said, and this is about the gold. So Christianity and Islam were both interested in gold. This is nothing to do with religion. This is about taking your gold. It was about taking the gold and the mineral resources then, and it is about taking gold and mineral resources right now. You see, there is no difference whatsoever. And these are tools of oppression. So when you say you are a Christian as an African, or you're a Muslim as an African, you need to understand that you are being used as a tool of oppression to oppress you in your own land, to deny you direct access to your own resources because of this go between that they put in between you and your resources, this religion. That is the reality of it. Let me just quickly read this to you a bit more. So the Portuguese claimed territorial rights on African coast by virtue of having invested time and treasure in discovering it. Castilian claim it was based on their being heirs of the Vigisots. So the people, so they claimed African coast as theirs. What about the people who've been there? How about my ancestors who have been there? The kingdoms that were there. We don't matter? Do we matter? Do we matter? This is the question I am asking us to really begin to understand. Do we matter? Okay, Black stay fun. Yes. Thank you very much. Blakey, thank you so much for that. Let me quickly highlight that. I'm sorry, I was just a little bit I didn't quite read that. I'm following. You see, again, gifting suspended. You see, I've been suspended from gifting. I will keep appealing. I don't know why. There you go. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to leave it. Those of you who want to watch me, if you're on TikTok, please go and join me on my YouTube, Citizen AY on YouTube. So let me just quickly, reply. Thanks for that. Okay, I'll let me just, thanks. So what is this book called? The book, The Arab Invasion of Egypt by Alfred Butler. Okay, thanks for this. So I'll get that book as well. I will get that. So it is very important. When we say we are Christians, the foundation of Christianity in Africa was the Catholic Church. And the Catholic Church did not see anything wrong in enslaving Black people like you and me because of our gold. Their goal wasn't about religion. Their goal was about our resources. So listen to this. So it says here, in 1454, a fleet of caravels from Seville and Cadiz traded along African coast. Upon their return, were intercepted by the Portuguese squadron, threatened war. Alphonse appealed to the Pope for moral support and Portuguese right to a monopoly of trade in lands she discovered. So they have a monopoly of trade. What about the right of we Africans to trade with whoever we wish to trade with? No, we had to be forced to trade. This is what is happening in France today. France is forcing African countries to use CFA francs, 14 African countries, even now. Even though Burkina Faso, Mali, and others are not in that in 14 African countries as being controlled by France, but they're still having to use the same currency and they're having to trade with that, and they're trying to fix that. That is something they're trying to address. So when we talk about this issue, we need to understand that even though it's about the past, it's still happening in the present. And unless we deal with this and we are all looking at this clearly, this will continue to happen. So this is why I'm bringing this up. So you can hear the papal bull of 8th of January 1455 endorsed Portuguese possession of Quetta, which already held, and exclusive right to trade, navigation, and fishing in the discovered lands, meaning they had power over Africa, the West Africa that my ancestors. They had nothing to do with us. They could come and trade. Africans were there. This is not a land that was empty. There are people there. So they're saying that the people, as far as they're concerned, the Pope gave them the power to enslave them. Listen to this. He granted permission to Alfonso and his heirs to make purchase and sales of anything and goods. Let me see. Anything and goods, victuals, whatever it may seem fit, with any Saracens So Saracens are saying that unbelievers, if you like, and infidels in the said region, provided they're not iron instruments, be not used for construction. Let me see. Cordage, ships, any kind of armor. The bull conferred exclusive trading rights to Portuguese between Morocco and the Indies, and the right to conquer and convert inhabitants. So please, you need to understand as an African that this religion of Christianity was about converting you, forcing you. Again, let me show you that bit again on the right up. This is something that just happenstance. I want to just see. I want to bring that up. So look, look at that. Sorry. Oh, sorry about that. So now I want you to just look at this again. So look, you see, forced conversions. That is what that is about. So when you're saying you're a Christian in Africa now, you need to understand that you have been forced. You have been forced to be, to be in that religion. It's not a voluntary wish of your ancestors. This is something that was imposed on us, and that was an option. Now, when you go to school, they start teaching you about Sunday school, Bible, and Quran from the age of 4. This is something I went through in Nigeria. This is my own direct experience. And the same thing is not allowed for us to actually explore our own African spirituality, because it's bad, it's negative. Even to speak our language, we're saying it's a vernacular. You see what I'm saying? So this is very important stuff that we're talking about. So you can see now that they talked about destroyed forced conversions, destroying African spirituality and culture, imposed following religions. This was an imposition. The religions that you're practicing, that we are practicing now, we need to understand the roots of it. The foundations were that they were imposed on us. We have to understand that and recognize that. And the coming generation must be taught this fact. Because a lot of people have this idea that, oh, these religions were, oh, they were non-threatening, oh, they were peace-loving, oh, they were no. They came to take land, they came to steal, they came to enslave. That is a reality that we need to preach among ourselves. We have to, these are the facts. That's why you see me talking about this. And they used religion to justify slavery and land theft and subjugation. Keep in mind, you remember I told you, Pope Nicholas V authorized the enslavement of Black people. You see that? You see. And yet, they are now using that the Bible gave them the right. But who wrote that? Who wrote the words, the papacy? The papacy had nothing to do with the Bible. The Pope wrote those words, which I'm going to show to you again. Let me show you. So, Pope here, right? He says, whatever other enemies placed in the kingdom, dukedom, principalities, dominions, positions, and all movable and immovable goods, whoever held and possessed by them, to reduce their persons to perpetual slavery. You see? To reduce their people, their persons to perpetual slavery. So they enslaved Africans on the African land using this religion of Christianity. That's the reality of what we're saying. I know this is tough for people to hear. I know a lot of people will find this deeply uncomfortable, but we need to face these facts, because we are placing our trust in things that are really harmful to us, in unbelievable, in depths that many of us cannot even contemplate. The depths of which this religion in the African context has done us damage, both Islam and Christianity. Many are not willing to look at this. And if we do not go and address this issue head on and go, right, you know what, this is not acceptable. We need to deal with this. I have to, what's the word? We have to look at this again and retrace our steps and then understand. And that's why I like, you saw Ibrahim Traore. he went to Salah, he prayed a few days ago. There's a video of him. It's not something I'm keen about, but the actions he took now, that he will not allow Wahhabism to dominate the sovereignty of his nation. It will not supersede that. And that is what they've been using. Because when you say you are following a religion, it will control who you are. It will make you, as a president or whoever, to subserve yourself to that religion outside of your sovereignty. You are giving away your sovereignty. And that is non-negotiable. And that is what he's saying. So you have it here, purchase of black slaves, you see. However, together with the second reference to some who have already been enslaved, this has been used to suggest that sanction the purchase of black slaves, the infidel, from many Guinean and other Negroes, taken by force and some barter on unprohibited articles. So you see what I'm saying? The foundations of your Christianity on the African continent, in the European, by Europeans, it's a slave, from slavery. Listen, I could go and talk more about this, because if I spend too much more, I could talk more in depth, but I wanted to touch about that. And so anyway, so you've got an idea now of the connection between religious warfare, and we are still undergoing religious warfare right now. I hope this makes sense. I hope what you are hearing is something that you can relate to. And please share this message. It's very, very important. I'm really grateful for those of you who are still here. Please continue to give us a thumbs up on YouTube. Help us with more people. You are, of course, listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Let me just have a sip of water. Yeah. Okay. So now, one of the things that I also want to touch base on, we're going to go on to biological warfare. So, biological warfare. What is the biological warfare? I'm going to, again, we'll bring the interpretation out, because I think we need to be doing this in this way, because we have to get people to understand, to really see what's been going on. Let me just read up biological warfare. So you need to understand that those who have carried this out, it's been all about how to, everything, religion was the foundation was the start of enslavement. Then to continue with it, they use all manner of things: biological warfare, financial control, military, means, of course. All of this is all about keeping control on the African continent, keeping us enslaved and disempowered on our continent. And it's important to understand that. So religious warfare is one aspect. Both Christianity and Islam are using it, and it's important to highlight that. Okay, thank you very much for that. Let me just quickly acknowledge, somebody was saying something on YouTube. Let me just acknowledge you as you're here. I didn't quickly. So Michael Enefla, hi. Yeah, they hide the truth in plain sight. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Michael Jackson is my dad. Well, I don't know. Really? Okay. Really? Oh, I am black. Okay. Whoa, that's interesting. Michael, I'm really glad that you're following. I hope you've given us a thumbs up. We're just talking about how the colonial warfare against Africa, and how the four pillars of colonial warfare. So one is biological warfare, religious warfare, ecological warfare, and of course financial warfare. So those are the four that we're going through. We've just finished talking about the religious warfare. So we're going to go and look at the biological warfare. Please, as you're joining us, please subscribe to us on YouTube. Help us grow the platform. And of course, we welcome gifts. I know you may not be able to give me gifts now on TikTok because they suspended me. But the best way you can help me now, many of you, there's over 43,000 followers following my Citizen AY on TikTok. Please go and join me on my YouTube. That's the best way you can help me. If you join me on my YouTube, you can reach more people, and we can grow the platform. So I really do appreciate you coming in. Michael Anefla, thank you. Michael Lanefla, I hope I'm saying it right. I'm really glad that you made comments, and I read your comments there, and I've also read Miss Hope. She gave me a that sign, which I'm grateful for. So those of you joining us, do go to Citizen Airwire on YouTube and help us by subscribing and give us a thumbs up, and of course hit notification button, and of course share the broadcast. We need to reach more and more people. So let me quickly go into biological warfare. What does it mean? Because sometimes we have to do this at a base level. Biological warfare, germ warfare, is the intentional use of infectious agents such as bacteria, viruses, or fungi and biological toxins to kill, incapacitate, or harm humans, animals, and plants. It is classified as a weapon of mass destruction and is internationally prohibited. Even though it may have been prohibited, it is happening across Africa right now. And it's important that we understand it. That's so we've talked about religious warfare. Religious warfare is to deal with us, to weaken us psychologically so that we are weak. And the training that we've been through has been programming us to feel we are powerless without connecting to the religion of the very people that enslaved us. And as I've told you, Pope Nicholas V actually authorized through his papacy in 1444 or 52 to enslave Africans, that it was okay to enslave us. So many Africans need to understand that and to rethink this idea of you being a Christian. You need to understand that you are not a Christian. If you say you're a Christian, what you are saying is you are enslaved. You've agreed, because the terms on which you can be anything to them is that you are going to be serving them. You are a servant to their cause. You are not a Christian in the time, because they don't see you as equals. They don't. It's very important to understand that. Okay, so let me go forward a bit more. So that's the let me just give an example of warfare. I want to read it. Deliberate using microorganisms, bacteria, viruses, toxins from living organisms to cause death and disease. Throughout history, this has ranged from primitive contamination to state-sponsored biological weapons programs, categorized into specific historical instances. So, historical examples, let's look at that. Plague catapults, the siege of Kaffa, modern day Ukraine. They talked about that. Let me see what I want to look at Africa. I want to see what they've done in Africa, if they will talk about that, because there's been something. No, they haven't. Okay, but anyway, we're going to come and talk about Africa now, because many of those those diseases, Ebola, HIV, and all of that, they are using it to cover one thing. Let me read this again. Let me just go into this. Sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna go here. Sorry. So okay. Okay, so now introduce diseases: smallpox, tuberculosis, measles, biological experiment on Africans, withheld real cures, promoted dependency on colonial medicine, depopulation, weakened resistance. So this is what is going on right now. I'll give you an example. Just today, I read through something, and I'd seen it before, but I read another report that talked about Burkina Faso kicked out Bill Gates Foundation because they were using target malaria. Was actually they found out that they looked at what they were saying they were doing wasn't what they were doing. They were trying to reduce the impact of malaria, over the past since 2012, but it seems like it's not improved since the time they came to the time Ibrahim Traore had a look. So we sent them packing. It closed down the target malaria in Burkina Faso. And that's because the association, those who are doing this, the people who are providing the cure don't have any connection with the people who are on the ground, who are being made to use this stuff. We're giving you a cure. And we are not allowed to play a part in that process. They are only coming in and saying, this is what we've got for you. This will work for you. And we are like guinea pigs, and that is the problem. That's the problem with biological warfare. Many of us don't even know on the African continent that there's a biological warfare going on right now. There is a biological warfare going on right now across Africa, many places. In the Congo, for example, they said they found Ebola, right? I'm going to talk about that. They said they found Ebola. So let me go into that now. So we're going to go, I want to just look at what, and you need to understand, anytime you hear that there is an outbreak of something somewhere on the African continent, I need you to check one thing. What mineral resources do they have in that community? So let us go and look at this. Now, this is Ituri. There was a recent outbreak of Ebola in Congo, they said. Now, Ituri is a province in the northeastern Democratic Republic of Congo and is predominantly renowned for its vast gold deposits. Are you listening? Is the penny dropping yet? Is the penny dropping yet? They are only interested in your resources. And if they cannot have access to the resources, for whatever reason, if the people are there, somehow mysteriously, a biological weapon that they call Ebola would suddenly appear in that community. And when it appears in that community, then the people have to be moved, even at the cost of some lives, because their goal is to access those resources. When they say that area is cordoned off, they are the ones who are controlling who comes in and who comes out. So in the process of saying they are containing Ebola, the resources is at their mercy and they take the resources out. This is happening across Africa right now. That is what is happening in Congo, in other places where you hear there's sudden an outbreak of this, an outbreak of that. If you go and check, 9 times out of 10, it is associated with mineral resources within that community. So, Ituri. However, the provinces in Bofana world often fuels local intercommunal conflicts and illicit smuggling. Who are behind the illicit smuggling? The colonials are the ones. The colonials want the resources that doesn't belong to them, and they will do whatever. They will cause wars. They will cause inter-ethnic clashes, just so they can get themselves in and say, we are going to stop the ethnic crisis. Something they created. The colonial structure have this mentality of gain of function. They will find out about something, they will create that problem, and then they will have the solution. And then they will come and apply the solution, and you make the thing, oh, they're trying to help you. But they created it in the first place. They created that problem to be able to apply the solution that they've been working on in the lab. That's all they're doing. That is all they're doing. So the biological warfare is a real thing. That's one example. I just told you also about Burkina Faso. The other thing is to do with when they're saying they're trying to help with sterilization of Africans to manage the population. Who told you we wanted any help with population? A continent with 1.4 billion people, that can feed the land that can feed China, India, Western Europe, Russia, and Australia into it, and still space left, and you're telling us, oh, we are overpopulated. That's nonsense. This is this idea, and we need to start challenging this kind of thinking. And we cannot allow those who are exploiting Africa to be telling Africans how to live our lives. We must be the ones, we have to be the author of our own destiny on the African continent. So this idea of somebody coming to Africa and telling us, oh, it's because of you are too much, this and that. They are there should be no poverty on the African continent. They know it. They are engineering poverty just so they can get their hands of our resources. So it says here, I told you, they introduced dozens of introduced diseases, biological experiments. They carried out many of these things. I mean, many of you heard about the Tuskegee experiment. There are many experiments that are even going on in Africa right now that we're not even aware. And Africans, are not allowed to have our own laboratory. It's only now that South Africa is maybe even having one laboratory, from what I understand. But we need to take control of this. Again, this is part of the reasons we need, and what they do. You see, the connection between the biological warfare and the media is so strong. The information that they get out there, they will spirit from information, and because the colonials control the media, whatever the information they give them is what they will spread. And we didn't have access to it. Now we're beginning to question. You need to question everything that you hear. You must question if you hear any story, go and check. Because when I told you now, like I said, they said Ebola came out in Ituri. And now I'm looking at Ituri. It is full of gold, right? It's got what is it called? Coltan. Is it coltan? Let me see. I'll read that to you. Oh, where is it? Yeah. So it's full of gold. Let me see if I can find the other resource in there. Itumi is endowed with mineral resources. So including coltan, cassiterite, and gold. Now, those France, for example, UK, even US, they're not endowed with gold, but yet they are the richest countries in the world. They don't have gold in their land. How are they getting all this amount of gold in their bank deposits, if not for raiding, pillaging, literally going and pillaging Congo? This is the reality of what we're facing. So we need to understand that biological warfare is part of the tools that they're using to actually to extract our wealth and keep us dependent on them. We need to be very, very clear about that fact. And we have to be ready to take steps. And that is what Ibrahim Traore has done. Ibrahim Traore has nationalized majority of many of the gold mines. And the country owns, I don't know, out of the 15, the country owns about 7 or 8 now. And then their majority share in the rest, something like that. So this is what we have to do. All of this religion and everything else. The religion, I've told you now, the religion is about the gold. The biological warfare is about the gold again. So there's one common theme in everything that I'm going to talk about. The next 2 things I'll talk about again, well, military warfare and the financials. It's all about our mineral resources and having access to it. So we need to understand as Africans that this is everything they're telling us about religion is a cock and bull story. It's a distraction. It's to keep you away from really focusing on what they came for. The Pope said it. Let me refresh our minds about what the Pope said. Where with it? 1 second. I'm just going to go back again. Yeah. Sorry. Is it there? Slavery. Yeah. So I'm just going to bring that up. So they talked about, they knew. So if it was religion, why are you mentioning gold when you're talking about religion? I'd like to know why. So let's go and look at what they mentioned here. So I just want you to know that when they talk to you about religion, it's all cock and bull. They're only interested in the gold. They found out that there was gold, and what did they want? They wanted it for themselves. It's nothing about the religion. The religion is a means to an end. And they see Africa. They don't see you as equals. They see you as the land that they must control, just like US is doing right now. It's the same doctrine. The doctrine of control and the right to dominion over the land, whoever is there. It's the same doctrine that the US is applying till date. This hasn't changed. Now, let me see now. I want to make sure I read this one now. So, 1 second. I want to make sure slavery. I want to just see this bit again. Now, okay. So when they talk about treasures, you need to know that it's gold, that is African gold that they were that they'd stolen. Okay. Now, 1 second. So slave trade became lucrative. You see, the Portuguese become key players in Europe in the slave trade. The constitutions were given confirmed by bulls issued Pope Calixtus III, which recognized Portugal's trade rights, territories, and discovered along West African coast, gave Romanox Pontifex, also gave the Portuguese military Order of Christ. You see all of this stuff that they're doing. So I wanted to talk about, there was a place I saw where they talk about gold. I don't know, I'm sure you saw it when I was talking to you earlier on. There was a section they talked about the gold. So when you hear them talking about gold, a religion, know that that religion is a fraud. Here we go. Listen to this. Portuguese ventures were intended to compete with Muslim trans-Saharan caravans, which played a key role in highly profitable Muslim slave trade and also had a monopoly on the West African gold and ivory. So this is not about religion. This is about our resources. I've told you, biological warfare, resources. Religion, resources. Okay, let's stop. We're going to go to the next one. Let's go to the next one. So here's the next one. Financial warfare, number 3. Okay, sorry. Financial warfare. So they stole resources, brought poverty, imposed taxes and cash crops, created debt traps, controlled currencies and economies. Capital flight continues today. Again, this is financial warfare. They put this in our faces, but because we've been put in that you see, the religious control is such a powerful tool on our minds that many people miss it. They miss what is being put in front of our faces. Because whilst you are busy, the Jesus Christ said this, and people will argue. People will be arguing about Jesus said that, Allah said this, Allah said that. But those who put it in front of you, they are only interested in one thing, your resources. And all of this is a smokescreen to prevent you from actually using that resources to benefit your community. We need to wake up as Africans. We have to wake up, do a better job of communicating to our people in our villages. The villagers are walking around they are literally billionaires. But because of the condition of the mind through this religion, many of them have not looked at it, and they don't know the worth, the value of the resources. They've been told, oh, just pray to God. You know, even the farmers, they're not being subsidized. We'll go and talk about that in a bit. I'll talk to you about the famine and how IMF. This is what the IMF is doing. So four key areas we're talking about now in terms of the financial warfare is they stole resources, they brought poverty, imposed taxes. Right now, Nigeria is now putting its taxes. France is meant to be managing Nigeria's taxes. Excuse me. Why? Why is France, who we know what they've done to 14 African countries, why are they having anything to do with Nigerian taxes? I'm asking this question. We need to be asking the questions, and we should be posing these questions collectively as Africans. So I hope this is making sense. Please continue to tap on the screen. Help us share the broadcast. You are, of course, listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. It is really important that we talk about these issues. I know the broadcast is being severely restricted, but on TikTok. But please, those of you on TikTok that you're watching me, go right now to my YouTube and hit subscribe. Subscribe on YouTube. Help us go to the platform. There are 43,000 of you on TikTok, and TikTok is I'm only seeing 4 people out of 43,000 followers on TikTok. There's only 4 people on my TikTok right now. And I'm not using any swear word. I'm only talking about the 4 pillars of colonial warfare against Africa. And I'm talking about that, but as soon as I do that, TikTok finds a reason to sort of say I am breaking the rules, or I'm not following community standards. How exactly am I supposed to talk about this? Again, I'm waiting for, there is an African new search engine, a new social media platform. It's called Leke. So I'm waiting for them to give me updates. Over time, many Africans, we need to be very clear. we will need our own uninterrupted platforms where we can do a lot of continue to speak truth to power, to educate our own communities and speak freely on our own platforms. And I would encourage the Nigeria and African leaders to invest, African nations to invest in this platform or other many African platforms, so that in fact make it a space where people can be earning, just like earning some funds for doing this work, because it would actually help us in growing our economy. It will actually help us in making sure that areas where there are no infrastructure get infrastructure. So this is a win-win. Of course, we know that many of the African leaders, they are puppets to the colonials. They've been handpicked to be running this for the colonials. And we need them to be awake from that, to not stop, to not allow this to continue. We need the people to benefit from their resources. And there's nothing wrong in stating that. It is time that we, the people, those of us who know how the world works, helps those who don't know how the world is being used to oppress them in their own land, and begin to retrain their mind critically in our local languages. We need to be proud of the language. The soil, those who are telling us to speak English and who are telling us to speak French or Arabic, they are coming to a land of the people who don't speak any language, but it's the land of those people who are not speaking that, who don't speak any colonial language. It's from that land that they're taking resources that they're using to build the monstrosities across the world. And yet the people who owns these resources, you and I, many Africans, are being left in poverty. So we have to do a better job as Africans. It's not about complaining. I'm telling you the steps. I'm showing you the patterns, the areas in which we can identify what they're doing. Right now in Africa, everything I've talked about, biological warfare, religious warfare, now financial warfare, it's all geared to create distrust, to prevent unity in Africa, and to keep Africa poor. That's the reality. So let me go and talk a bit more about this, and I'll come on. Let me just talk about the IMF now. So just a brief, use an example of IMF is what is happening in Senegal right now. Senegal, the IMF want to control what Senegal is doing. So what did they do? Because they, German Faye, Faye, the president now, he's somehow been begging and dovetailing to France, which he didn't need to. Sonko and Faye went to jail because the previous government were being oppressing the people and dancing to the tune of France and impoverishing their own people. Now Sonko was prevented from running, so he allowed Faye to be the president. Now, because Sonko was saying, hang on, the reason we did this because I couldn't run. You are now here. What we need to do is to work with the people. Do we need to be with IMF? We shouldn't. Look at what they do in Burkina Faso. And what did he do? He sacked him. Faye sacked the prime minister. And now he replaced Sonko with a man IMF approves. Remember, I told you that the role of the IMF is to prevent Africa from developing. It is pure and simple. The simple number one rule of the IMF, International Monetary Fund, and the World Bank, is to prevent Africa from developing, to becoming independent, to becoming debt-free. The strategy, the singular strategy of IMF and World Bank is to keep many African countries debt-ridden, so they can continue to use the failure of the debt to extract our resources. Can you see that? Again, what is it about again? It's about resources. The religion is about resources. The biological warfare is about the resources. Now, the financial warfare, again, is about the resources. Because what they do is they keep you in debt. When you are in debt, oh, you can't pay the debt. Oh, you have the resources. Okay, since you can't pay, we will take your resources. This is the cycle. And they don't have the resources. We have the resources. Why are we using the system from those who have colonized and oppressed us? Why? We must build our own systems. Don't you get it? We need to build our own systems on the African continent. And that is, and when we had leaders like Gaddafi, they took him out because they didn't want Africa to be independent. And this is, they don't have that right. They have unalived so many African leaders. These colonials have unalived Amilcar Cabral, Patrice Lumumba, Gaddafi, many elders, Steve Biko, who would have been a great man. Many, even Murtala Mohammed, there's so many leaders. Silvio Olympio, they have unalived so many, and they have faced zero consequences. And they are the same people trying to tell us that they got solutions for our problems. Come on. When are we going to wake up? When are we going to wake up and confront this head on? Salute to Ibrahim Traore, Assimi Goïta, General Chani. Salute to them. Because they're doing the work. They have said it is freedom or DEATH. It is freedom or DEATH. And I stand with them with that 100%. So the reason I'm saying this now is because all too often there are puppets now who they've put in place, who they say we have a government. We don't have a democracy. We don't. IMF, the IMF is picking who is going to be in government. Please, which part of this, what I just said now, is democratic? I'd like to know which part of what I said now is democratic. There is not one part of it that you can say is democratic in any way, shape, or form. There isn't. So we have to spread this message to our communities. This is why I'm doing this platform, this program today, because we need to speak honest truth to ourselves as a community. If we're serious about changing, having a better future for the coming generation of Africans, we need to follow without question what Assimi Goïta is doing in Mali, what General Chani is doing in Niger, what Ibrahim Traore is doing in Burkina Faso. We have to follow it to the letter. That's the blueprint right there. Because they realize that the IMF and the World Bank, I just told you, the strategy of the IMF and the World Bank is to keep Africa debt-ridden. So for as long as we are debt-ridden and we are owing them money, they have access to our resources because they say, oh, you've got the resources. But then they tell us, the same IMF says Africa is the poor, we have poor nations. But it's the same people that come to take our resources. Which is it? Are we rich or not? Do we have resources or not? Are resources valuable, yes or no? Simple. But they don't want you to know that. They want you to keep you in the mindset. This is about controlling the mindset. Again, it's about the gold, it's about the mineral resources. This is what is going on. So please help me share this broadcast. If this resonates with you, take a minute, go and subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. Help us grow the platform. You are listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. We have a lot of work to do as Africans. Many of us now, thankfully, the social media, I know they're controlling it. We are able to reach each other, and we are having spaces where we can speak now, and we are doing more stuff offline. We need to do more more stuff offline, and we need to be meeting in spaces in Burkina Faso, in Mali, and Niger. Can you do me one favor? I'm asking you. I am so keen to go to Burkina Faso right now. I want to go in the next few months. All you have to do, and everybody I'm asking you now, on TikTok, go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please. Those of you who are on YouTube that you hear me now, I need your favor. I want to go to Burkina Faso, and I want to be broadcasting from there. All I need you to do for me is to help me share the word about the work we're doing on this platform, speaking truth to power, educating our people about our rights, talking about the 4 pillars of colonization. I've talked about 3. I've talked about biological warfare, religious warfare, financial warfare. We're going to talk about, finally, military warfare, the environmental warfare. That's the last one we'll talk about before I wrap up. But please, if you're watching me now and this resonates with you, go ahead and subscribe to me on YouTube. Just go down there Hashtag CITIZENAY, capital A, capital Y. That's it. I'll come up. Subscribe to me on YouTube. Help me grow this platform. I need your support because what I want to do is I want to be going into Burkina Faso. I want to be able to meet Ibrahim Traore personally myself in the next few months. I need your support. And of course, I want to meet General Chiani. I've got contacts there who are willing for me to come there. But all of this requires funding. Now, I'm not asking you to pay me money. I'm asking you to just share my broadcast. I am appealing to you directly, those of you watching me. Can you share this to 10 or 20 of your friends? Help us reach more people. Because the more we need to, we have to be operating in spaces where we can speak freely. In Burkina Faso, they have closed 5 Monde. They've chased out the French 5 Monde from Burkina Faso because they are not allowing, they are trying to portray a false narrative. We as Africans must get used to speaking and being in spaces where the government is working for the people. Burkina Faso is working for its people. Niger is working for its people. Mali is working for its people. I want to be in there. That's where I want to be in. I want to be in there reporting to you live and telling you what's going on. I want you to see this and know that this is a reality that we can put forward. I'm really serious about this. So I don't want to talk about whatever they're doing in TikTok. I don't care about what they're doing in TikTok. I don't care what they're doing in Facebook. I don't care. I know they're limiting what I'm doing, but I'm speaking to you from the heart right now. And I need you. This is something I'm passionate about. And I know many of you want to do this as well. The best way we can help each other is to just go ahead, subscribe to my channel on YouTube and spread the word. If this resonates with you, please do let me know. Get in touch, assist me. And of course, if you want to give me super chat and welcome and gifts on YouTube, well and good. All of this is the aim is to be able to grow the platform so that I will be able to bring you live broadcasts. And ultimately, the ultimate goal, of course, is to have our own platform. Leke is in process of being up and running. Let me just check that now. I want to just check it. So I'm not, Leke. Let me see if I can find it. Leke. Let me see. Yeah, that's it. So let me see if it's come up. Let me see if it comes up. Yeah. So this is what I'm looking for. I'm waiting for. I don't know if it's come up yet. So maybe we can join. So yeah, I have it. I've joined. We are. So this is something I've joined them. I'm going to have to go and get the details later. I'm just showing you. That increasingly, long term for us as Africans, we are going to have to rely on our own platforms. These platforms are not owned by us. They can say and do whatever. We have no say. On Facebook, I have been with Facebook for since 2010. And when I started doing Oduduwa TV radio, I've been for years. Facebook owes me thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds. They've never paid me. Oh, they said, oh, because you don't speak English, because the people that you speak to, they don't speak English. So we've not been able to adequately justify, do it, pay you. I'm talking thousands and thousands of pounds. With thousands, I've got on Oduduwa TV, I have 250,000 followers, literally. But then what they pay it's a joke. So the point I'm making here is this, and they always say, and those of you who are billionaires and black and you're billionaires, oh, I'm fine. No, you're not. No, you are not. Mobutu Seko, the man who allowed himself to be used as a tool when they unalived Patrice Lumumba. When he had health issues towards the end, all of those people that he knew, they deserted him. Those contacts that used him to unalive Patrice Lumumba. When he came to the point where he had cancer, it wasn't all of those countries that were, Belgium, US, they didn't care one jot. So what I'm saying to you is that when it comes to it, when they are giving you praises and everything else, it's because they're getting something from you. They are letting you are allowing them to take our resources that belongs to millions of Africans, and you are getting crumbs. Whatever they pay you is crumbs, because they are getting their incalculable amount of benefit from using you. So we need to make sure that the coming generation of Africans, we need to make sure that we build in Africa. The cocoa must be used to make chocolate in Africa. The oil must be processed in Africa. The gold must be processed in Africa. The cassiterite must be processed in Africa by Africans, employing Africans. That is what we must do. I am serious about this journey. I need your help. I need you to join me. I need you to go and subscribe to me on YouTube right now. Go ahead, follow me on YouTube. Help me grow the platform. But if you're following me on Facebook, following me on TikTok, go and subscribe en masse to me on YouTube right now. That is the best way you can help this platform, because there's a lot of work we want to do, and we want to do the work on ground. Thankfully, I'm able to be mobile, and I want to be able to bring this information to you and educate us and prepare the ground. We see when we're doing this, we're preparing the ground for the future, where in Africa, the future is Africa. The future is Africa. Be in no doubt about it. The future of this world is in Africa. And as Africans, we need to be playing our role in Africa. We know what we've gone through in many of these colonial countries. We don't have to go and talk about that now. But I'm telling you now, we need to build Africa. And it starts with promoting great leaders like this. Ibrahim Traore, Assimi Goïta, General Chane. It starts with them. I'm asking you, join me. Forgive me if my passion is strong right now, but we need to be serious about, if we are fixing Africa, then let's fix Africa together. Let's take the steps. I don't want to just talk anymore. I want to be able to come and talk to you on location. So I'm calling you now. Those of you following me, please, in the next few hours, I want to see thousands of you joining and subscribing to Citizen AY on YouTube. And leave comments, suggestions, ideas. I want to hear it. You are part of this journey. And you can also have your own platform. We need many of us to do this work. I'm trying to do something in my community right now, and that's another concern, to print this information out to my community in my language, because that is the only way that we can get them to understand how they can begin to hold their governance to account, to participate in the governance, and to bring about the change they wish, instead of waiting for one man in the sky to help them. Oh, God help me. Oh, Allah come on. Nonsense. That's absolute nonsense. That is being reduced to a child. So please help me. You're listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I need your support. I really do need your support. And I hope that this doesn't fall on deaf ears. I hope many of you take on board what I'm saying. It is very important. I'm very serious about this. I want to be able to go to Burkina Faso in the next few months. And I would very much like it if you can subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Because what we want to do is we want to be able to go to those platforms and go to those countries, Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, and maybe any other country that is going along in the same way. And then be able to bring that information to you. And the more we do that, and we're recording and reporting from those countries, and using those platforms that now make sure that they put emphasis on reporting truth about Africa, because you can't trust any of the social media platforms. You can't trust the mainstream media. Whatever they tell you about Africa is the opposite. Whatever they tell you. So we are very, very serious about this. I hope this makes sense to you. I do apologize if my voice sounded very strong, but I am passionate about this, and I want to be clear. I need your support. Please subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube, the platform where we speak truth about. I really do need that support. Let us move on, crack on again. So we're talking about the IMF and World Bank. So let me just quickly go and talk about that briefly. IMF and World Bank. Where is it? Yeah, IMF. So now the thing with IMF, I told you, the pressure, the IMF never allows African countries to subsidize their farmers, because they want to keep the price of the goods of the farmers, African farmers, so expensive that it cannot compete with their farmers. That's the reality of it. And until we understand that this is The entire system, from biological warfare, religion, economics, and of course military, the entire system is geared at keeping Africa divided. Until we understand that there is interconnectivity between all of their processes, all geared to one thing, extracting African resources at the expense of Africans. Until we all understand that, we are going to be running around in circles, and we don't need to do that anymore. It is clear as day from what I'm explaining to many of us now. It is clear as day to see that this is what they want to do. Now is the time for us to join hands and take control of our destiny on our continent. Not on anybody else's continent, on the African continent. And we can do this. I know it. I can see the future. It is there for us, but it requires commitment. The kind of commitment we're asking for, simple little things. Subscribe to platforms that are serious about building a better Africa and help us grow, help us reach more people, help us get there. We want to be able to report live from those countries, from those countries, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. They are the blueprint for the future, and we need to nurture and support them. And I would love to be in a place where I'm able to meet Ibrahim Traore in person myself and with a group of people. If you want to go and do that, if this resonates with you, join me. Get in touch with me. I do write some newsletters, but I've been a little bit, it's been very difficult. I've been focused on trying to build the platform so that I can actually get to the point where I'm reporting live there with one or two people, with myself on ground, doing the work that I need to do, and others as well. We need this desperately on the African continent. It is time we solve our problems. This hand wringing, oh, somebody, why aren't they? Why? No, we have everything that we need right now. And we can achieve it if we stick together, if we, for the first time, no longer accept them dividing us by all the games that they've been playing. We haven't got time for that. We need to fix Africa for Africans. The coming generation are depending on you and I. What do you say? Please subscribe to Zinewa on YouTube. Okay, let me pull back. I'll pull back. Right, okay. Now, so anyway, I don't want to go too much into the IMF, but I've told you now, we know that the IMF and the World Bank, their system is designed to keep African countries from building infrastructures for their communities, from supporting the farmers, from having manufacturing. They don't even want you to have a manufacturing base, because if you have a manufacturing base, it is a threat to their own business. They want to keep the people that they take the resources from. They want them to somehow find the money out of thin air, money that they have now denied them by stealing their resources. This is blatant thievery. Blatant thievery. So we need to be very clear. Please, those of you watching, as you're coming in, share this podcast. You are listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I really appreciate each and every one of you joining me. Please do share this podcast. As ever, go and subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. That is the best way you can help me. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Now let's go to the fourth one, which is environmental warfare. So we're gonna go in on that now. Let me. Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay. So now, deforestation, environmental warfare. So the forest, soil soil depletion, water pollution, oil spills, uh, 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 mining destruction, climate manipulation, which is going on. All of this, I'm not even going to share pictures. I think it's self-explanatory. I don't even have to go into detail. So this is environmental warfare that is going on. So deforestation, they deliberately, when they can't control an economy or whatever, they pay people to go and destroy forest. They just pay them, just go and destroy it. Just keep it, and they always focus on areas where there are mineral resources. They will pay somebody, look, can you go and destroy this place for me? They will pay people to go and covertly destroy trees. Big trees that have been there for 300-400 years in the areas where there are mineral resources. And then when that is cleared, then suddenly they will start trying to get the government to give them rights, licenses to go to do exploration. They are. This is what they're doing. That's the operators' modus operandi, and it's to the cost of them, the community, because that community, in on your state, I think in many communities, people have complained that when they've come to try and say they're taking gold, they've destroyed farmers, they've not compensated them. This is what we are talking about. This is the system of the colonials. Those who are funding deforestation are proxies of the colonials. That's the reality we are saying here. Now, soil depletion. So they destroy the soil. They make it unusable so that they destroy, when they destroy the soil, what happens? People cannot live in that community. Sometimes they put chemicals and things into the soil to destroy it. For example, this stuff whereby they're saying that they're putting in seeds. Now we're getting seeds, all of these seeds that Bill Gates and others are in Africa, whereby they do not, you don't have a seed that actually you can plant itself, that can regrow itself by planting the seed. You have to go and buy the seed. This is creating dependency culture, and in a land of plenty, and we are allowing this to happen as Africans. Thankfully, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Nigeria are not allowing that. They say, no, keep out. We don't want you in it. Stay away from us. Stay away from our land. And that's why you will see me. I always have their picture behind me because it's a message. The message is clear. As Africans, we have to stand for our communities. Africa is the birthplace of civilization. Africa is the birthplace of civilization. And everything that you see happening around the world came from Africa. It came from Africa. Now, what we need to do is to remember that history, the fact that even the irrigation systems for farming and everything else, thousands of years, they've been doing it in Africa. So when they try and tell us news stories about, oh, we don't know about irrigation, no, they've caused poverty, they've destroyed the land, they're changing the weather, they're doing things, manipulating the weather to manifest this evil manifestation of theirs. Dependency, poverty in a land of plenty. There's work we need to do as Africans. Water pollution. Water is a necessity of life in everywhere. So if they find a place thriving, they cannot penetrate, they go and destroy the water. When you destroy the water, people cannot stay in that community. And then what that means is that it's now easier for them to go in and take what they want. But we can no longer just stand by anymore. This is impacting our entire communities. We need to wake up. We need to, those who are doing this must be the GMO, nature lover. Thank you. GMOs. Exactly. So please share this broadcast. We're talking about really important stuff. I know that TikTok they're keeping the figures numbers down. Go to my YouTube channel, Citizen AY. Subscribe to me there. Help us grow the platform. We welcome super chats and gifts. We need your support. It is very important, the work we're doing here. And we need to, in the next few months, I want to be able to be in Burkina Faso around about August, September, to be able to do live broadcasting from there and give you updates in Burkina Faso, in Mali, and Niger. With your support, I have no doubt it is doable. I'm calling on you as you're watching me. Go and subscribe to Citizen Ewa on YouTube. Help us grow the platform, and I promise you, we'll be giving you news like you've never had before, and we're speaking straight from the heart, and we'll do a lot of research, such as we're doing now, to bring to you important information for us to understand what is being done on the African continent. You may think it's not connected, but they are all connected. I've told you now, this oil spills and everything else. Multi-guest. Let me bring in NUN. Somebody wants to chat? Let's bring you in. Hi there. Hi. Welcome. Welcome, NUN. What would you like to say? Hi there. Hi. Welcome, my brother. What would you like to say?
Yeah, I'd like to ask about these brothers who took power in West Africa, these junta soldiers. Are they really legitimate, considering the fact that they overthrew democratically elected governments? So are they really people that can be trusted? Considering the fact that what is going on in their country, their countries are divided, Yeah, and then conspiracy theories are flying. Some are blaming the West, some are blaming the East. But in my opinion, these are the problems themselves, you know. So, because first and foremost, they are soldiers. Um, yeah, according to their respective constitutions, they shouldn't be overthrowing the governments. But, they did this, and now the promises that they made is couple of years already. No elections were held. Okay, and there are still conflicts, ongoing in their countries. So,
Okay.
like as a young African, I don't think they can be trusted. I think they are not a good example. So, as an elder, I'm here to learn. So you can let me know. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. NUN, none, I think it's called. Thank you for that question. Look, Africa has been in the so-called democracy, often directed and controlled by countries like France with 15 countries, like countries like UK with another 15 or 20 countries, countries like Spain and Portugal having a few of those things, other countries, and Arab countries, of course, we know they're leaning towards the Arab world. So when you say that they are not democratic, the point is they're not, democracy hasn't worked for us so far. If you look at if you look across all of Africa right now, if you look at all of Africa, the only places that are truly developing is Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. I'll give you an example. Under Ibrahim Traore has built the largest hospital in West Africa, in Burkina Faso. And he's made it not only available to people of Burkina Faso, but he's saying it's also open to West Africans to come and use. So I think we got to be very careful of following the Western narrative of, oh, democracy, they're not democratic, they're not doing anything for their people. The West are falling over themselves to trade with these countries because they see that they're succeeding. They don't want them to stand out. They are afraid of the success that is going on in Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso, they're building their own cars. They're building their own armor tanks. They're building their own drones. They're farming. For the first time in 40 years, Burkina Faso is able to feed itself without having to go with a begging bowl to IMF or World Bank. They don't want that. The democracies that we've been brainwashed to espouse about have been dependencies. They are dependencies. There's nothing democratic. They've handpicked who they want to be there so that they will continue to be dependent on the Western structures. Whereas Burkina Faso is totally independent. They bought their own airplane for the first time in 20, 30 years that they're running. They chased away the French airline, and the French is begging them, please, let's come back. And they, no, we don't need you. They've closed that space, and they're creating jobs for the people of Burkina Faso. And the military is protecting the people. There are people sleeping at roundabouts anytime they hear any threat against Ibrahim Traore. The people have said, we don't want any elections. We don't want any of the elections because every time we've had elections before, we've ended up in poverty. These are what the people of Burkina Faso are saying. It's not me saying it. And the people of Mali, they are defending. They came out protecting Assimi Goïta when the French were using Jenin to try and overthrow Assimi Goïta. So what am I saying? I think we've got to be very careful about the narrative, the Western narrative that they tell us about. Oh, the AES is not working, that they are oppressing the people and everything else. It's a false narrative. We need to we should stop relying on the West for our news, because everything they tell you is an inverted world. It is not the reality. It's an inversion. It is what they wish to see. They're not speaking about the reality. They're talking to us about how they see and how they perceive Africa. They want Africa to remain a place where they continue to explore, exploit, to oppress, to suppress, to take our resources. So I mean, I hope that makes sense to you. For me, it's not even a question now. There are so many things. People are talking, they got electricity in Burkina Faso. They're fixing the roads. They've got hospitals. They've got bridges. They're building drones. They're building cars. They're building phones. You know, what? And this is something that was not there under the leadership that was there before, that the French were controlling. Same thing in Niger. Same thing in Mali. In Niger, the French were taking the uranium from the Niger people, keeping them in dark, and they were paying them per kilo 70 cents in the euro. They don't tell you that. The press don't tell you that. And the value of that uranium per kilo is 200 euros per kilo at the time. So we have to be very, very cognizant of this. The mainstream media have given us a false narrative. We must do the research. And this is why a platform like mine is important. We go and do research to bring out facts. I'm just telling you now the colonial warfare against Africa. And I've given 4 areas that they're carrying out warfare. There is biological warfare right now in Congo. That is what is happening. Because the area in which they said there was Ebola, they got on this incalculable amount of gold, cassiterite, and coltard in that area. And guess what? Hey, presto, that is where Ebola suddenly happens. That is biological warfare. That is biological warfare. Now, religion, I've talked about that. Religion, again, it's all about trying to make sure that the resources of the land, we Africans don't benefit from it. So any talk about democracy is, please, which part of what America is doing in Africa, in Iran or Congo is democratic? Which part? No, are you there? Which part of it?
Yeah, sorry.
Which part of what America is doing in Iran, even in Congo, which part of, is there anything that they're doing that is democratic? Can you point to anything they're doing right now that is democratic?
In Congo?
Yes, that the Americans are doing.
I don't know much about the American presence in Central Africa. What I know that the Central African problem, including that of Congo, the Uganda, the Banya Mulenge, Banya, all these stuff. These are mostly African problems. So if you read about the first Congo War, the second Congo War, and even during the time of Jonas Zambimbi, all this stuff, it's complicated. There are multiple actors. Okay.
Yeah,
in this conflict.
of course.
Yes.
Okay. Let me take it one step back. Do you now accept that Patrice Lumumba was unalived at the say-so of Eisenhower?
No, I accept that it's conspiracy theory. Nobody can prove that.
No. It's actually a report that they released themselves. The UCIA released a report.
Who released this information?
The CIA. I will send it to you. I'll get it out.
Since you are using TikTok Studio, you can show everything because myself, I got my platform. I'm African and also an Afrocentrist.
Okay.
So I know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
And I got my materials here that I share anytime I'm speaking. Okay. So I want you to show me the report that the CIA released themselves. You can share your screen and then forward and then.
Okay. Let me do the work. Whilst I'm doing that, I'm going to do the work in the behind for us to do.
No problem.
So, but what I'm saying to you is this: are you not seeing the hands of the colonials in preventing development of Africans? Is it not clear to you? So,
yes, I read Kwame Nkrumah's book, Neo-Colonialism. Yes, so I did extensive research.
This one, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much for showing. Yes. So I know about neo-colonialism.
So okay. So in which case, what is the solution then? What do you think should be done?
Yeah, I think Africans. I think two mics are open at your side from your. Yeah, it's echoing a little bit.
I'll mute it. I'll mute it. 1 second. 1 second. I'll mute myself.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. Yeah, thank you. Wow, it's much better. So yeah, I think African people should learn quickly, like people, nations like China and Asian countries did, to start turning raw materials into finished products, not to go and buy new brand aeroplanes and drones, and yeah, we have to, acquire the knowledge of turning our raw materials into finished goods. Okay. So whether, the governments, junta governments or democratically elected government, any leadership that came in should be able to put in place and attach some timelines as to how to accomplish or how to, obtain a generation of Africans that will be able to transform these so many raw materials that we got into finished products. Yeah, yeah. I think this is going to be very very helpful. Yes. I
Okay.
don't know what's. I'm here to learn, by the way. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what you think about it. Yeah.
1 second. 1 second.
And
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
yes, I just wanna ask if you read about the recent Al Jazeera report as far as the minerals in Africa is concerned. I think it's well documented, well researched. Okay. Just wanna pull it up. Okay. It's called Mapping Africa's Natural Resources.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. So um, this report was put online back in February 15,
Okay.
2022 at around 12:28. Uh, Perhaps yeah, because I got some other Africans who dislike anything that comes from Al Jazeera or BBC or any Western or Eastern media platforms, which, by the way, is okay because we are all entitled to our source of materials. But for me, as far as credible and authentic information are concerned, it does not matter more where it comes from. But I want to quote some passages from this report
Okay.
and to see what's your take on it. And by the way, I'm here to learn. I emphasize that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're all here to learn. I think one of the things my platform is here to exchange ideas, opinions, suggestions, and learn about new things and better ways, because Africa as a whole, we have a problem on the African continent when more than 25 or 30% of our youth are leaving Africa to try and go and survive in other countries around the world. Something is wrong with our system of governance in successive countries. So we need to address those concerns. And one of the things that we're doing, me being living in diaspora, I've seen how things are run and what they've really been doing. They pulled the wool over our eyes in so many areas. But now we don't have any excuse now anymore. We have to fix Africa. Whatever it takes, we will have to do. And what they're doing in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, for me, is the best, is the blueprint. We cannot continue to depend on a system. The US comes and tell us about democracy, and yet they go to countries, they've destroyed 7 countries in about 5 or 10 years. They've destroyed Iran, Iran, Afghanistan, Syria, Sudan, Iraq, and then Libya. And everything they said, all they said is, "Oh, we're going to after we do, we are here to promote democracy." And everything they've done in those countries, they've always been about exploiting their resources. So we shouldn't be taking lessons from those type of people. They are there to hold back and exploit the people. They even said, even Trump said, in Iran must not be allowed to get their resources, the oil. That oil belongs to US. How can you say that about the oil that belongs to the people of Iran? And this, we should not even be listening to US about anything to do with democracy or what the flim-flam democracy. We must talk about what we are doing and how we do it as Africans, in my opinion. But yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So, this report, as I mentioned earlier, is titled Mapping Africa's Natural Resources.
Okay. Okay.
You can look it up later on, but the title is Mapping African Resources. Okay. Yes, it says that let me see key areas. Okay, it says that beneath the surface of Africa lies a wealth of mineral resources of enormous value. In 2019, the continent produced almost 1 billion tons of minerals worth 406 billion US dollars. Okay, in 2019 alone. And second paragraph, it says that according to the United Nations, Africa is home to about 30% of the world's mineral reserves.
Yes.
12% of the world's oil and 8% of the world's natural gas reserves. Yes. And by the way, I have cross-checked every single point, every single claim that they made. I found it to be true. For example, paragraph 1 that says in 2019, Africa as a continent produced almost 1 billion tons of minerals. Okay, that was in currency $406 billion. That's a fact. It's also a fact that according to United Nations report, by the way, some of my generation or some Africans don't even trust the United Nations at all. And anything that the United Nations, any information that comes from the United Nations, they will simply have no respect, or they will not accept it just because the United. Yes.
Can I say about that? I think people have there is history for why people can no longer trust the United Nations. United Nations have been involved in stealing. I've got video and photograph evidence of the UN going into the Congo and putting gold, military men putting gold into the tanks, armor tanks, and taking them out of the areas that they were supposed to be patrolling under the auspices of the United Nations, and nothing has happened to these guys. So people have a right to actually question and distrust United Nations. Also, the United Nations, if we're saying that we're true equal nations, why is it that African nations have been denied voting rights to be able to participate in real politics of governance across the world? Africa has been reduced to mere bystander, yet it is our resources that they've used to actually carry out, to build and develop many of those Western countries. Let me give you an example. Did you know that Hiroshima and the Nagasaki and Hiroshima bomb, 75 or 80% of the uranium came from Congo? Did you know that?
Well,
did you
no,
no,
did
you know?
But I heard about it.
Now, this is what I mean. So when the US do not acknowledge the role of Africa, and that's the problem, the UN doesn't acknowledge the role of Africa in the development of the world in any way, shape, or form. So we do not want to, I for one cannot take lessons from those. Right now, Africa is saying we need to have voting rights, veto rights, on what is going on. And they keep saying, no, you can only be there as a mere observer status. And yet it is when they want to come for resources, like you're saying, 30% of the world resources, they depend on Africa. They depend. They cannot live. None of them can exist without Africa. That's the reality of what I'm saying. I'm sorry if my voice is very strong, but we got to be very clear. We got to be very clear about what we are going to accept, what we are not going to accept, and the terms on which we are going to be engaging with these people. So for me, I have a big concern with the UN. The UN is look, the UN is controlled by 3 countries: US, UK, and France. That's it. Russia and China, the veto power now. You can now see what is going on with the world. The dollar is running. The dollar The dollar is rapidly depreciating, and they're running around to try and keep the dollar as the main currency, but it's not going to work. It can't work, because we cannot be held to ransom by a nation. That is not democracy. When a nation is trying to force the rest of the world to use its currency as the only currency, that is nothing. There is nothing democratic about that. And this is all being kept in place by this same United Nations that you espouse. I'm sorry, but that's my view. But anyway, let's go.
Yes, and I agree with that. Most of what you said. Yes. And you see, this second paragraph says, according to the United Nations, Africa is home to about 30% of the world's mineral reserves. That's also a fact. It's also true that 12% of the world's oil and 8% of the world's natural gas reserves is from Africa. So we have to respect these numbers: 8%, 12%, 30%. But uh, like in addition, Africa as a continent also holds 40% of the world's gold and up to 90% of its chromium and platinum. Both chromium and platinum, by the way, are very, very important, valuable. Okay. For example, in the digital space. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Brother, this report also mentioned another fact. It says that most of the electronics we use today are based on a number of minerals from aluminum to zinc. Okay. And in 2021, for example, some 1.4 billion smartphones were sold worldwide. Okay. Um, but it says that as of 2020, nearly 4 in 5 people own a smartphone.
Mm-hmm.
So what I was saying earlier on, as Africans, from central and local governments, we should come together and learn how to use this, how to turn these raw materials, how to mine these raw materials, how to build the infrastructure, the know-how. Yeah. Um,
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, how to gain this knowledge of the industrial knowledge of turning raw materials into finished products. Yeah, so we can benefit it ourselves, and also we can use these finished products to sell to our neighbors, to sell to other countries. Yeah, that way we will become more powerful. We will be even more respected. Yeah, and then generationally we will make progress. But listen to this. Uh, uh, More than half of a mobile phone's components, including its electronics, display, battery, and speakers, are made from mined and semi-processed materials. Yes, and there are so many mining processes going on in Africa today. It has been going on for decades already. But how comes, okay, we are unable to? I know from what you said, like there are actors, foreign actors, dividing and then, causing confusion within ourselves so that we wouldn't be in a position to acquire this knowledge. Okay. So we are disintegrated. Like the partition and division of Africa from the Berlin Conference itself. Okay. This is where the problem was solidified and is still affecting us. But check this out. The glass in our the glass screen in every smartphone, two minerals are important that are found in Africa: potassium and silica. Okay, and silica. Sorry. Okay, potassium. Without potassium and silica, our phones, we wouldn't be able to use our phone screens. Okay, and also even the body of our mobile phone, without aluminum and titanium, we cannot be able to use it. So these are all critical materials that are found in Africa. And also the circuit board, okay, the machine of the mobile phone, in order for the machine to be operational, we need minerals like silicon, tantalite, and also copper. These are all
In Africa. They're
Africa.
majorly in Africa. Exactly.
Yes.
Let me just get in there. Look, everything that you're saying, my brother, is so on point. There is nothing I can argue with. There's nothing to argue with there. What we do need to do now is for our people to start. The only thing I would say is we now need this information to be disseminated into our communities. not reading about the Bible or the Quran. Screw that nonsense. We need our people in the villages to know about this cassiterite, to know about this tantalite, to know about this gold, all of the minerals, to know it in their local language, that, look, this is valuable, we can do this with it. Start teaching. Now is the time for us to start educating our people in our languages. I like that I like your accent, because this tells me you are African. And, we need that accent. You need to teach our people in your community, in your language, about the resources that they have, about the jobs you can create. It's not about speaking English. It's not about speaking French in Africa, because Africa belongs to Africans. And we need to say that. That is what motivates me the most. But let me stop here for now. Go ahead. I need to go to Blackie Stallion. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, thank you, brother. Yeah, Black Power.
Yeah.
Listen to our brother talk. I respect stats, and truth. However, I respect action more. We're all over the world. The truth is, everybody on TikTok talking. And I stand by what I say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Black man here, born and raised in America.
Mm-hmm.
And the truth is, those of us who are serious, and you abroad from Africa, you living in America, you living in
US,
UK, you living in Canada, and you up here on TikTok just talking about the issues of Nigeria and Cameroon and Botswana and Rwanda, the Congo. We just talking.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is, nobody wants to put their money together and do something, boots on the ground. This is truth. In fact, citizen, DM me, man. I'm gonna give you my personal address where I live.
Okay. Yeah.
My
okay.
phone number,
I'll DM
business
you.
address.
I'll DM you. I'm serious.
And I'm willing to. We get together. We find some real brothers up here, as we say here in the hood in America. We're gonna find some real niggas. That's about this work.
Yeah.
Because it's too much talking, man.
I agree.
It's too much. Everybody just, it's okay. It's good. Don't get me wrong. I love knowledge. I love the truth. Let's keep talking. But after we talk,
action.
But after we talk, we gotta put our money down. It's about economics, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
America, England, France, Germany, Belgium, Spain, Canada, and all those Scandinavian, the European Union, they care nothing about what we're talking about on this TikTok. In fact, they're laughing at us. You know what they're saying? Let them Negroes complain and talk about that slavery and what we did to them. As long as them Negroes don't stop buying my Mercedes Benzes, as long as those Negroes don't stop using my airline, as long as those Negroes don't stop taking my cruises, as long as those Negroes don't stop buying my clothes and taking all those beautiful, as we do when we travel around the world, we brag. When I'm in the airports, I hear all our African brothers and sisters and Black Americans, they be all in the airports, I'm vacationing in Paris, and I just came back from Venice, and I just London. I had a great time in Lisbon. See, this is all he cares about. And we got to wake up to this game. So let's put our money where our mouth is. Let's get some boots on the ground. And the reality, all of us need to get out of the West and move back to the African continent and just sacrifice, we're gonna have to make them leaders do right, give us 24-hour lights. We're gonna have to make them niggas build good roads and sanitation. Because you over here from Nigeria and America, and you on this TikTok, which you a little host, and you talking all this Pan-Africanness and FBA that, and all this stuff we talking about, who's indigenous and who ain't Black and who ain't African, and Somalians over here talking about they ain't Black, and They ain't African and all this dumb shit. Man, nobody got time for this mentality. The world is laughing at us, brother citizen. Listen to your black brother from America. The world is laughing at us, man. Do you hear me? China doesn't care about none of what we're talking about. India doesn't care about what we're talking about on TikTok. They're laughing at us, man. All they want is our money, man.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the sooner we wake up to this truth, and then you go on some of these sites, I mention books all the time. I own a bookstore, a Black African bookstore. Very few brothers and sisters on TikTok is excited when I say that. 99% don't budge. You say Black bookstore,
I'm excited.
Read a book.
I'm excited. You see me. You see my face light up.
Yeah. I know you are. It's a citizen. I know you for real, but everybody ain't you, citizen. Everybody ain't me. I'm talking about those of us.
Wow.
This is a fact.
Yeah.
Go on TikTok and talk about books and reading. Man, Black people hate books. We don't want to read no books. Hold on, this is truth. Now, some of us read. Now, let's be sensible here. I know a lot of us love books, right? Black Americans, some Africans, Nigerians. Look, of course we love books. We have some readers now. But as a whole, man, we don't care about no black. That's all we care about is a Gucci bag and a BMW.
Yeah.
And fake hair and bleaching our skin in Jamaica and Nigeria and all over Africa. They bleaching their skin. Now, who's making that money with that bleaching cream, them chemicals?
Yeah.
What company is manufacturing that and making that money?
Very good point.
It's about economics, brother citizen. You know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
You from Nigeria. You know what time it is. You know what them dirty British did to Nigeria.
Yep. Absolutely.
So now it's time for us who are living today, who are serious, Pan-African. Let's put our money together. Let's meet up. In fact, I'm gonna land with this. If you contact all the posts that say they Pan-Africans, I'm working with a good brother from Nigeria. He has a site called Tapam, TAPAM. That brother for real. Okay. And guess what? All the other Pan-Africans on these platforms, they're not united.
No.
They don't want to exchange each other's names and phone numbers. They don't want to work together. No.
No.
Now, but you up here talking all this pro-black talking about African, United States of Africa, and all this pro-black talk. But yet, you got other hosts who are talking the same language, say they Pan-African, but guess what? They're not united. They don't even know each other. They don't want to work together. They don't share each other's names and phone numbers. What's that? They're not. No, none. None.
That's true.
That's hypocritical.
Real talk.
We're hypocrites, citizen. We up here talking on how much we love each other.
That's real talk. That's real talk right there. Real talk. No.
I've been on TikTok for over 6 months. I'm not saying all of us. Some of us are for real up here, like yourself, citizen. I respect you, brother, because I see it. I feel it in your spirit. I watch what you said, what you do. I'm listening to you. I said, okay, I can get that. I need citizen personal phone number.
Okay, all right. I'll give that
personal.
To you. Yeah,
and that's another thing. I'm talking to all of us, Black Americans, Black Caribbeans, and Africans. None of us are that good, man.
Yeah.
You're not that important.
No.
Look, I don't have that kind of power, man. I'm not that important. Now, everybody up here want to play, everybody's secretive. Like they top secret or they work for the CIA or FBI or something. Nigga, you are not that important in white America. You are not that important in UK. You're not. So stop getting up here on TikTok, hosting your little platform and a real nigga and you hear a real nigga like me talking, and I say, okay, brother, I hear you talking. Now let's put our money where our mouth is, and guess what I get, citizen? Silence.
No.
I haven't met one brother yet, or Allahi, not one yet. I'm talking Pan-Africans now. I'm not talking these FBA and, I'm talking the ones who talk like we talk. I said, brother, DM me, man. I ain't got nothing to hide, man. I ain't got nothing to hide.
Yeah.
I own a bookstore here in Norfolk, Virginia. What you want? You get my email, my address, my phone. What you want, nigga? You can get it. You come see me face to face.
Yeah. Yeah.
Citizen, you can come see me face to face, and I'll come see you face to face.
Yeah, I'd love that.
That's the kind of nigga you talking to.
Yeah, thank you. Wow.
So a lot of these cats up here, man, talking all this, we love each other. We just talking, man.
You know what?
I'm telling you, man, I've been up females, some of our sisters too. Some of our sisters up here too. We can't get they jealous of the Black American woman. I was on a Nigerian platform, man. They was going off on each other. Nigerian. I was on a South African platform. They arguing with each other. I'm on a Black American platform. We arguing with each other. I was on a Caribbean platform. They cursing each other out and threatening each other. I mean, it's too much, man. It's too much. Brother, this enemy has did a number to me and you, man, our people, man. Do you see how they got us confused all over the world, man?
Yep.
Black America, confused. All through the Caribbean, confused. All on the continent, confused.
Yeah.
They got us at each other's throat on TikTok.
No, my brother, bro, that's
this
real
is
talk.
The truth.
This is real talk, right?
And bring me a host. Bring me a host, brother.
Real talk. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm just tired of us suffering, man. Pick up a book, man, and stop threatening each other on this TikTok.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna do nothing, nigga. Go somewhere and see. Listen, all that smoke you got, all that, give it to them French, to what's his name, Macron and Donald Trump, and yeah, man.
Yeah.
Give it to all that smoke you got for one another on this platform. Man, do you know how much threatening I've been hearing since? Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah. No, thank you so much. Thank
you. You scared to talk like that to Macron, France, and that traitor president in Kenya, what's his name in Kenya, William Ruto, selling out the whole country.
Yeah. It's true. It's
and
true.
you up here on TikTok. Show us the truth. I've been listening for over 6 months. I mean, we up here, brother, banging on each other. Man, this self-hatred is so deep. This jealousy. We arguing with each other, and then and this goes for our brothers and sisters.
Yeah, you're right.
Africa, the Caribbean, and Black America. I'm not leaving nobody out.
Yeah,
we're all acting stupid and talking foolish and dumb. And another truth, brother. I'm just so hurt hearing what I see sometimes, and what I see on TikTok. We claim that we want to see the United States of Africa. We want unity. We want to follow Ibrahim Traore and all this, but guess what, brother? Go on their platforms. You ain't got to believe me. Go on their platform and just listen. And they bang on each other constantly. I got to drop sometimes. I said, man, I can't listen to this madness.
Yeah.
You what's that sister got the platform? I forget her name. She was trying to unite, and she's a good sister too. Man, it was going off on her, man. She's from Nigeria.
Oh, I think I know her.
I couldn't believe it. I said, what the world?
Yeah.
Cameroonians threatening Nigerians. I can when you contact me on WhatsApp, I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
To your yeah. A Cameroonian sister, she up there threatening body the type of
it's crazy.
She want to beat up and fight Nigerians. Can you believe that?
Yeah. No, my brother. Wow, you said a whole lot of things here that made so much sense, honestly. And I think what I can say to this is, my brother, this is as real as it gets for me. I'm serious about going to Burkina Faso, real serious. I want to go in the next few months. And I want to be able to start reporting from there. I want to go to Mali. I want to go to Niger. I want to go to where the action is and actually start making us know that this is doable for us. This is no longer about talking anymore. I don't want to just talk. I want to make sure that we are effecting that change so that we can manifest the world we wish to see by the actions that we take. You know, we are too smart, too clever, too awesome to just remain and accept the status quo. You know, we just have to have a quiet confidence in ourselves, commit to our to building trust among ourselves. Recognize that the trust has been broken in our communities. We have to recognize that. There's no point in the trust has been broken, shattered in our communities. And that's why it's easy for us to be in the situation where we're fighting each other. There's this guy called Brzezinski. He got so scared in the 70s. Is a US foreign secretary or expert or advisor to Kissinger. He said the biggest threat to the US is the unity of Africans and African Americans. He said that. So what do we pick from that? What do we pick from that as Africans, as African Americans, what do we pick? It picks that they know that if we unite, there's nothing we cannot achieve, and we can solve every problem that we have without them. And we have to make sure that that is something that we remember in our communities. I like yourself, when I go to places and they start fighting, I just walk away. I haven't got time for that. I conserve my energy. I only want to speak to people who are keen to look at solutions and not only look at solutions, but be willing to take the steps. I've written your name down. I'm going to inbox you my number so that we can be in touch, because it's going to be it's just going to take one step and one step and one step and one step. I'm serious about what I'm saying. In the next few months, I want to be in Burkina Faso. I need people. I need my platform to grow. Citizen AY, the platform where we speak to people on YouTube, because that platform, it's not about just growing. It's about disseminating information. I'm trying to print this information. I've got some copies for my communities to know their rights in their local language. About 30 million people. That's going to take funding. It's not going to happen by just by happenstance. It's going to take work. It's going to take real work. Sorry, my camera just gone, but I'll be back. Yeah. So it's going to take real work from all of us. So please, oops, can you hear me now? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Okay, somebody said no sound. Okay, so it's going to take real work. I don't want to talk much more. We can see the work that we need to be done, thankfully, is being shown to us by Ibrahim Traore. That's why I keep saying that. Ibrahim Traore is showing us what to do. All we have to do is now sign up, join hands, get to meet. Here's what I want to do. I want people to go with me to Burkina Faso. If people are willing to go to me around about August time, if people are willing to go with me, get in touch. But please help me by subscribing on my YouTube channel. Grow that platform, because we will be putting information out there, and I want an interaction. People actually coming as a movement to be part of this change. Talking alone is no longer enough. Doing stuff, like you said, doing stuff is what we need. Oh, Humble Lion is on here. So that's my take. But listen, my brother, I've got your name, and I'm going to inbox you my number when I finish this broadcast. I will be inboxing you. Let me just make sure I get others. Some people want to talk as well. But yeah, just final thought from yourself before I bring somebody else in. What would you like to say? Black Stallion. And I'll go back to Non as well. I'm really grateful for what you've said so far. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say that we got to get all our brothers and sisters, Black people around this planet, we got to get them reading books. We got to get us interested in knowledge and education, reading books written by Black authors, our scholars, whether they Black American, whether they from the Caribbean, whether they from Africa. We got to build libraries in our homes. We got to get our people literate, well read, and supporting Black authors and Black books. And that's it. I just wanted to say that it's very, very important. We got to get we need a Black-owned bookstore in every major country and city on the African continent, selling books written by our scholars from around the world.
Black-owned printing firm.
Exactly.
Black-owned everything. Black-owned
Exactly.
producer. Black
Exactly.
company
Exactly.
record executive. Black-owned
Exactly.
WhatsApp. Black-owned platform. Black-owned
Exactly.
everything. And I mean everything.
Exactly.
Everything and anything. And Black-owned manufacturing to manufacture.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's that's jobs right there for millions of us if we think deep enough. You know, I'm with you.
Thank you, brother. I learned with that.
Yeah, thank you so much. Wow, thank you so much for that. Thank you. I'm like I said, when I finish now, I'm gonna be in touch with you. I'll put my number in there, and we can, you know, you'll be able to get to me, and I will be in touch. And we need to link this up. I'm really serious about this, guys. Everybody who's watching me now, if you're watching me and you haven't subscribed to my channel on YouTube, go and do so now. It's Citizen AY. Hashtag CITIZEN, capital A, capital Y, Citizen AY. And just join me, because let's get on this journey together. Let's support these great men. Let us take a minute to appreciate Ibrahim Traore, Assimi Gota, General Chani, the commitment that they said it is freedom or DEATH. They said that, and they mean it. They're ready to stand on that 1000%, and we must be ready to give of ourselves. The world that we're really living in now has not reflected who we are or allowed us to be who we are. And then the best place for us to be who we are is on the African continent. I make no dear old man, Ibrahim, we cannot do that anymore. Let's take action. Let me speak to Non. Non, you there? What would you like to say? I don't want to hear from you quickly.
Yeah.
I'll mute myself. 1 second. 1 second. Okay, here you go. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you talk about the Hiroshima bomb, and the uranium that was needed, you know, to produce that bomb. That the uranium is from Africa.
Yeah.
Yes, I know about that.
Okay.
I know about that.
Okay.
And that mine is closed in 2004, something like it is. Sinkolobwe, they call it. You know, Sinkolobwe mine. Yes. But the point remains as that as Africans, we should try and acquire the skills, this knowledge, you know, so we can do our own stuff. Okay. So as long as we are not manufacturing ships, okay, that can ply the ozones, okay, like better ships, I mean, not these wooden boats and stuff. Like the world is moving, man. We should be in a position as a continent to manufacture machines, okay, big machines. Even the motors and the aeroplanes, all this stuff, we are like assembling, we are having assembling factories, you know, here and there in Africa. But these parts are being manufactured outside Africa, and then we are buying or importing them into our countries. And the more we are doing this, the more we are being controlled by the people who are manufacturing this stuff. So I think it makes so much sense that whatever we do and how long it may take, we should arrange our efforts, our brilliant minds, our finances together, so that we can be in a position to be in control of our own minds, our own resources, and transforming these minerals into finished product. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Look, Africa is very diverse. It's very big. We got all the natural resources to be powerful, to be the most powerful continent in the world. But when we are divided, and of course we are divided along religious lines. In my opinion, religion is the number one problem. It's the number one setback, because today, and this is a sensitive area, you know. But today is a fact that most Africans are either Muslims or Christians. Both Islam and Christianity is a foreign religion to us. Okay, before the coming into our space of these three religions that some people call Abrahamic religions, before the coming into our space, these Abrahamic religions, we as Black people, we already got our spiritual system for millennia, thousands of years. So as far as understanding or believing in a greater power and how this greater power is manifesting. Yes, so Black people are the first in mankind to come with the idea, the concept of a higher power, and how to be and how to teach, how to disseminate the mechanisms of this higher power. So we don't need foreigners from the Levant, from the Canaan Basin, or from Arabian Peninsula to come and tell us who God is, what God wants from us. So, but today we are either mostly Muslims or Christians. So, and the teachings of these religions is very divisive at its core. Okay. Yes. For example, I'm a former Muslim. I'm supposed to be unalived because I left the fold of Islam. The teachings are there. I have checked everything. I have, like, I can open my camera right now. Whatever I'm talking about, I got African books. I got Sianta Job. All these books I got a library here at my back. I can show it right now. And this is what I do.
Fantastic.
Yeah, as far as geopolitics concerned, yeah, I got books also, and I digitally and physically. As far as religion is concerned, I have checked the Bible, everything, the Quran, the Hadith, what have you. So I later discovered that the ISIS come here, So in order to Africa is so important. Africa and Africans are so valuable, so much so that they cannot be left alone. You understand? They must be. Oh, sorry.
Okay. Whoops. Okay. Don't know what something happened there. I don't know what happened there. I hope you can hear me now. Yeah, no, brother, none. Wow. Listen, we have to make sure you're following, please. None, you have to make sure you're following. And make sure you're following. Please, everybody watching, go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm serious about this because we are going to go through a fantastic change right now on the African continent, and we need to be part of that change. I need your support because I want to, one, have the platform so that when we do things, it can reach more people. We can get to meet in person. I want to go with a dozen people to Burkina Faso around about August ending. Please join me. Start building now. The best way you can help me, subscribe to Citizenewa on YouTube. Like I said, I want to be in Burkina Faso in August. With your support, we can do that because we need to be where what we want to happen across Africa is happening, and the best place where it's happening and getting that secure that thing off the ground is Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. And there are people there who are waiting, who are willing to be part of this. But of course, joining my platform would be first step in that because it allows us to reach more people. It means that in terms of being able to focus fully on doing this work, because I do this stuff just of my own time now. But having that platform grow, it means that I can focus fully on it and just do things around it rather than trying to spend some time from everything else I'm doing. Because this is something that I know that it is happening. I can sense there's a change in the air. There's a change, a real strong change. But we can't just be bystanders in this change that we want to see. We have to actively participate in it. You have to say it, speak it, feel it, and then expect it. You have to say it, feel it, and expect it. I expect that we are going to Burkina Faso around about August ending, September. Be there. Watch, go with a group of between 12 and 20 people, maybe more, depending on. We meet and we go to the live discussions or live meetings with Burkina Ibrahim Traore, talking to a group of people because he's always having guests from all over the world coming, and it would love to be. It would be fantastic to be there and then experience life on ground. I want to show you pictures and videos of things happening on ground then. So please join me. Let us get this happen. Let's make this happen. I have every confidence that what I'm saying here resonates with you. I feel it. I can feel that energy is there. So let's support each other. It's not just watching. It's about, okay, willing to take part. The simplest thing, go to my YouTube channel, subscribe. That's the first most important thing. Once you subscribe, hit notification, hit the like button. Once you hit the like button, notification button, and then of course share. That way we can reach more people. There's a lot to talk about. The topic we talked about here today is very important because it talks about the key, the foundation of the oppression of Africans. Now, I'm not saying it from the position of weakness. I'm saying we need to recognize those patterns. The reason why I brought it as is that we have to recognize the patterns. If we are going to make a change and change what is going on in Africa, we have to recognize the patterns that those who are oppressing us are doing, so that we can now take steps to put a stop to it on the African continent. It's about learning what happened and how to do it. This is it is very, very, very much important for us that we begin to disseminate this information. So biological warfare, number one, that is happening right now. What steps can we take to put a stop to it? Religious warfare, none talked about it. That is a major warfare that is destroying the minds of millions of Africans. Financial warfare, again, this IMF and World Bank, they keep us in the debt trap so that they can always take our resources at will. We need to put a stop to it. And then fourth, environmental warfare. This is the destruction of our environment, changing using HAP, all of this system to cause havoc, to prevent things from actually functioning, to disrupt the food patterns, to disrupt the rotation of our crops, to disrupt our way of life, just so that they can create poverty. This is things that we can no longer afford to ignore. The Bible and the Quran is the foundation that makes you ignore what is happening and saying, oh, the Allah will make a way, Jesus will make a way. Whereas if you don't make, the only person that can make a way is you and I, if we come together and unite, like Black Stallion 2 said. It is you and I when we unite and take action. Let us start that action now by joining me on YouTube. Subscribe to Citizen Air on YouTube. Hit notification button. Give us thumbs up. Help us with more people. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure. I hope you found it beneficial. You can rewatch this again in its totality on YouTube. You won't have the visuals, but you have my voice, but you will have the picture of this topic of discussion, which was colonial warfare against Africa. And I say it again, I emphasize this point. It is not we're not talking about this from a position of weakness. We are talking about it from understanding the patterns of those who are oppressing us, their patterns, and what steps we can take to address it. We need to follow what Ibrahim Traore is doing, Assimi Goïta, General Chiani. And of course, democracy is not meant for Africa, in my opinion. It is not meant for Africa. We had in Yoruba land, in Oyo Empire, we had our own system of governance that worked perfectly, and we were able to have other kingdoms join us as tributaries and paying some money to the Oyo Empire, and they were protected, and they had a governance, and those who are within those areas could actually come to become a king or someone of high importance within, and they could marry into the Oyo Empire. So these are nobody has to tell us about their governance. This is something that is part of who we are as Africans. So we need to embrace the greatness of our ancestors, the Oyo Empire, the Songhai Empire, the Dahomey Empire, the Ga, the Mali Empire, the Dogon, all of those great kingdoms. That is who we are. They are in our DNA. So please never ever look down on Africa. This is the moment for us to reclaim ourselves. Our true greatness is just in front of us now. We are about to grasp it, and we are being led by great leaders like Ibrahim Traore, Assimi Goïta, General Chiani. Salute to all of them, and we will continue this process. Please, like I said, I'm real serious about this. Help me. Everybody that you're talking about, spread the word about Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth power. Spread the word to them. Get them to join. Make sure we sign. Let us get to about 15, 20,000 followers in the coming weeks, because this would empower us to do more. We need to be taking concrete steps to really promote the work that is being done by the Alliance of Sahel States. We see that the mainstream media is against them. They're telling negative stories. I mean, this stuff about they were saying they were chasing Muslim clerics, but they didn't tell them that this guy is preaching Wahhabism, and they do not want to tolerate Wahhabism in AES. The AES wants Africans to develop on the African continent, to be able to be free, to enjoy the benefits of good hospitals, roads, schools, water, light, schools, bridges, healthcare, safety, security, jobs, all of those things. That is what they stand for. And it's time for us to follow them and support them. Thank you all so much for listening. You've been listening to Citizen AY. Yeah, go ahead. Non, you want to say one final word? Go ahead. Non.
Yeah. Yeah, just the last point that you like, whether democracy is good or bad for Africa, this is something that is highly debated among Africans themselves. Okay, there is no single one answer. Okay, all what I'm about to say is my opinion. You don't necessarily have to agree with that, but this is how I comprehend things. I know that democracy is a system that offer rights. Democracy is a system that offer accountability. Democracy is also a system that offer regular leadership changes. I know that democracy, I know that many Africans, even me sometimes, I am dissatisfied with democracy due to the pervasive corruption, the inequality, and also slow economic development. Okay, within these so-called democratic settings in our continent. Okay, that's a fact. But I also know that in this world, whether physical or metaphysical or etherical, there is always the duality, the two sides, the pros and cons, or some people will call plus and minus, or advantage or disadvantage. So what we should be doing is to look for the advantages, the the pros. For example, like I said, democracy offers us accountability. Democracy provides a clear constitutional path for us as citizens to hold our leaders responsible and vote them out, leadership that are underperforming or not performing. Democracy gives us that. Compare this to a theocracy, for example, like what the JNIM, Jamaat Nusrat al-Islam wal-Muslimin are trying to do in West Africa. Okay, and this started back in the days of Sehu Usman Danfodio in the Sokoto Caliphate.
Yeah,
I'm having a copy of John Allen Bila Azuma's book. What's the title again? Come on, what's the title of the John Allen Bisa Arab Islam in no? Let me check the book.
Yeah, take it, please.
I just forgot the title of the book. I just want to
go ahead.
Anyways, John Allen Bila Azuma wrote a book that I just want to open my camera and show you. And with some few minutes, I can do that. But even the title itself, I forgot it. But anyways, in that book, you can read about Sehu Usman Danfodio. Okay? Yes. He started all these jihadist movements in the name of Islam.
Yes, I read about him. In fact, he's very, very he's divisive in Nigeria. Very divisive, and it's been a trouble. He's caused a lot of problems even now, even long after. Even his descendants are trying to still follow his that barbaric ideas. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, yes. So since the time of Sehu Usman Danfodio, and shortly after him, Alhaji Umar Futi Tal, and many other, jihadist leaders that launched a campaign, a religious campaign, warfare against their fellow Africans. And their only crime was that they don't want to be Muslims. They want to continue be following their native spiritual systems or stuff. So you can see this is what is still going on. For example, if you check the manifesto of JNIM, JNIM, you will see that their aims and intentions are to bring Sharia law, okay, which is
That is why they're getting. That's why they're getting support from Saudi Arabia.
Yes, that's why they are getting support from Gulf governments. So, and they are not limited to AES countries. They are just are in the whole West African region, to implement Sharia law, and they are hiding behind the population that are mostly Muslims, in this country. So we have to be aware of this, and we should be talking about this. Yeah. So when we also check the Asawat, which is a political movement. Okay, so that has to do with the Westerners. For example, the Francophone France, because when these colonial borders are being drawn, they did not respect cultural lines, tribes, settlements. They just draw borders, and then for example, most of West Africa used to be one big nation. You understand? But they came in and then divided into us into smaller countries. Okay, where I come from is the Republic of the Gambia, the Smiling Coast. Gambia, Senegal, and parts of Mali, parts of Mauritania, and then parts of Guinea used to be one country. You understand? But today, we are divided into 4 or 5 countries, and the divisions cross along, traditional settlements.
And what they do, what is worse about is that they mix two different people speaking two different languages, put them together, and make sure one country. One day you're in one country, the next minute you are you're speaking the same language, but you are two different countries. This happened in Yoruba land as well. I've got relatives who are in Benin, and they but they speak Yoruba, but because of the border, they cannot come across the border because they are in Benin, but they are still speaking the same Yoruba in a place called Ketu in Benin, and they're not far from Lagos. So yeah, I'm very familiar with what you're saying here. Very, very important we say that. None, only for time purposes. If it wasn't for, I need to bring this broadcast to an end. But please, I want to make sure that I'm following you. You follow me, please. I try to follow you. It's not letting me do that. Make sure you follow me. We are going to come back and talk more. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Show me.
Check out this room.
Show me. I'll write the name down.
I'm not sure if you are able to see this.
Okay. What's it called? The legacy of what? The legacy of Arab Islam in Africa. Okay, 1 minute. Let me just write it down. Oh, can I take it? The legacy of Arab Islam in Africa? Yep. Okay.
Very, very essential.
Okay. Arab Islam in Africa. Yeah. Okay, I got it. I got it. Fantastic. So what I'm going to do, what I will do is, yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah.
I've already learned a lot
from
your presentations, and I will make sure I keep, following you.
Okay,
so
good.
I can learn even more.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So it's a pleasure having you join us. So ladies and gentlemen, there we bring this broadcast to an end. I hope you found it beneficial. Please keep in mind, we need to spread this word. These are the foundations of the colonial structure on the African continent, and they still remain largely intact. We need to understand that they're carrying out, when they see that we're trying to stay together, they carry out biological warfare. When they see that, oh, we're still, we're still sort of not, we're beginning to break free, they institute the religious warfare. When they see that, oh, we are beginning to understand we have something, then they use religious, financial warfare. And then, of course, when they see that everything is difficult, the environmental warfare is always ready to use to destabilize, to cause instability and cause poverty and everything else. So we need to spread the word about this. Please don't forget, go and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Citizen AY, the YouTube, the platform where we speak truth about. Let me show you on the screen, and it's still here. We do need you. We need to get, I'd like to get to something like 15,000 followers. We're about 6 to 7, coming up to 7,000 followers. We need to double that in the coming weeks. And like I said, the plan is to go to Burkina Faso around about August, September, and I'll be talking about it more and more about it. I'll be doing some, I've not kept up with my newsletter because there's been so much going on, and there may likely be a civil war in Nigeria. I don't want it to. I'll come and talk about that again separately. But sometimes we need to talk about these central issues and understand that even the civil war that I'm talking about in Nigeria is being triggered by the 4 things that you see on the screen. Let me show you. Please go to my Citizen YouTube channel, Citizen AY. like you see on the screen right now. That's me there. Go and subscribe. Make sure, you help us get these numbers up. We really appreciate everybody watching. But like I said, these 4 things here, even the civil war that might happen in Nigeria, is being triggered by the destabilization that has been caused, this so-called religious war that's been imposed, and it's caused by environmental damage, whereby they're chasing people away, they're mining illegally, they're taking the wealth out of the country, and oppressing the people. All of that, that's the foundation. So we need to start seeing those patterns and work out how we as Africans, as a community, can begin to tackle and address it and stop it from happening. We need to put a stop to it on our continent. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Thank you so much for listening. I'll be back later. Thank you, and bye for now. Bye for now. Thank you so much. Don't forget, go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, hit the notification button, give us thumbs up, help us reach more people. You've been listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Thank you, and bye for now. Bye. Bye all. Bye. Okay. I want to take this moment to thank you, those of you on YouTube that have been following me all this while. Hope, Michael Lenafia, I think if I'm saying it right, Miss Hope Talk, and others. Those who've joined me, I'm really grateful. Please continue to give us a thumbs up. Thank you for the thumbs up. Let us reach more people. You are, of course, listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I'll be back later on to give you more updates on other subjects, but this is a very important thing. Please do share it, and you can, of course, rewatch it and share it with family and friends and have discussions around that. And I would endeavor to answer questions and topics, comments that you make regarding this and other issues. For now, I thank you very much. You've been listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Thank you, and bye for now.